attractive offers of the year on the entire line of Infiniti luxury performance vehicles is on through January 2nd. Come see us at your convenience.
Find out more about this and all other offers online at infinityofmemphis.com.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 on social media. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Sportstime with Wolo and Stacks. The first hour of Sportstime is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin and Brett Stotts Norsworthy.
A very pleasant Monday afternoon to you. Thanksgiving week. One of the best sports weeks of the year. One of my very favorites. We've had wall-to-wall basketball since about 10 o'clock this morning. Maui Classic underway right now. Maui Invitational. Dayton way up on Georgia. That'll be a Tigers opponent after the start of the new calendar year 2020. Good Monday afternoon to you. Hope everybody had a great weekend. And hope you enjoy some or part of all this show today on Monday, November 25th, 2019. Dave is out today. Dave will be out tomorrow and Wednesday as well. Wednesday, we will have Ole Miss basketball, and he's traveling to New York tomorrow and getting ready for it, taking a day off today. He'll be back with us next Monday, but so much to talk about from the weekend. And there's not a lot to do around here. Crowd took a serious hit over the weekend here, didn't they? Because there was plenty to do on Saturday. I did some of it. A lot of people did all of it. I did the Ole Miss and Memphis basketball game, and it was very entertaining. And I think it was a game that both teams will look back at some point in March, maybe on Selection Sunday for both. I think for both. And that game made them better, the team that won and the team that lost. I would have never believed it would have been something in the 80s. If it got in the 80s going into the game, I thought it would have been 80-something to about 65. I thought Ole Miss' best opportunity was to win that game somewhere in the 60s, and I think that probably was the case. The more scoring, the more I thought it was in favor of Memphis. On Friday, when we were at Edwin Watts, I thought Memphis would win because it was at home, and they have more. In sports, that usually wins for you. Next Friday afternoon against Cincinnati in football, I think Memphis will win because they will be at home and they have more. The basketball game Saturday between the Tigers and the Rebels really, to me, at times felt a little bit like the football game. The football game, I thought Memphis could win that game because they were at home and they had a little more. I think that's why they won. It was not the style of game I thought it would be. I never would have believed it was going to be 15-10. Any more than I thought Saturday was going to be 87-86. But like the football game, during the basketball game Saturday, it never felt like they were going to lose. They were in control, even when they were behind. They were in hailing distance and plenty of time to play, and then get up 16. Probably cruised a little. Ole Miss made some shots. I didn't think Ole Miss could do much out of a set offense. They couldn't run much stuff and really penetrate that Tiger defense. I thought it was really, for most of the game, really nice defensive intensity for Memphis. I thought Ole Miss played with intensity and played hard, just came up short to a better team. I don't think they would dread a rematch, but I think that game will make both better at the most important time of the year. For the Tigers, now without Lester Quinones, going to be out 3 weeks, without James Wiseman, without Malcolm Dandridge, who they've been without all year. You looked at that roster at one time, and you're thinking 10, 11 man deep. Well, it's getting more narrow now, but it's the best time of year for it to be that because you can adjust to it, you can play around it, you got time to work with different combos. The absence of Quinones and Wiseman by Selection Sunday, when the cavalry arrives, will just make this team this much better. People will really learn a role, be able to grow. Any threat, any fear, any worry that just may not be enough shots for everybody and maybe somebody may want to get out of here at Christmas time, I think that's limited now because of injury, and they'll get their shots.
Yeah, that's gone, and that was one of the biggest questions that everybody had going into the season was there's only one ball. Somebody's going to get mad.
One ball.
One ball. You can only pretty much take 1-2 shots possession.
One ball.
And people are going to get mad they're not getting their hands on it.
One football, too.
One ball, too. And on the other side of the sporting world. But with the going into the game, I was talking to a lot of people, and they were asking me, we win this game, right? What's the one thing that Ole Miss can do that could win them the game? And I said, well, if we hold Ole Miss under 12 threes in the game, we'll win the game. Well, we held them to 12 threes exactly, and that's what made me so worried was how well they were shooting it.
See, Drew,
they started off 5 of 6 from beyond the arc.
I thought if Ole Miss to win the game, if they got into double digits with made threes, that would be to their advantage, and they would win, and they did, and they didn't. So we kind of both had it kind of right.
Kind of right. Yeah, I mean, it was a lot closer than I thought. I thought it was going to be about a 10, 12-point game, and it was there for a lot of it, and especially in the second half. But, I mean, it comes down to the old adage of free throws. They're free for a reason. You got to make them, and that's why Ole Miss was able to stay in the game because we could not make free throws. And in the first half, Precious Achiuwa put up the 2 worst free throws I've ever personally seen back-to-back, barely hitting the net on both of them.
The second one, I don't know why, but my eyes transfixed on the Jumbotron. And I really and truly thought, well, that was a replay of the first one. No, it was the identical miss. I mean,
I turned to you and Eli and just said, did they move the free throw line back 3 feet? Because that's the only thing that I can possibly imagine of why he'd be off that badly back-to-back. 2
of the more horrific misses of free throws ever. And, you're really thinking that next time he goes to the line, you don't want to develop a Steve Sachs thing here. And from that point on, he was the best player in the arena. And that's hard to say because DJ Jeffries was really, really good.
DJ Jeffries was really good, especially on a lot of the hype plays. I mean, getting the crowd back into a lot of timely dunks by DJ to get the crowd back into everything. But Precious was the best player on the court, and it was a reason it kind of I had some doubts after the Oregon game where he kind of just, didn't do anything. It seemed like the lights were too big, the moment was too big for him, and you were wondering if that was going to be the case going forward. You can do it against the lesser opponents, but when you're facing a good team, can Precious step up to the moment? And Ole Miss is a very good basketball team, and he stepped up.
And I told both you and Eli, when we were all sitting together Saturday, I'd watched Ole Miss play opening night for them against Arkansas State, and Arkansas State wasn't bad. And I saw them against Western Michigan, and they weren't bad. I don't think they're as good as Arkansas State, but it was a big step up from Arkansas State and Western Michigan for Ole Miss in competition, and the first time on the road for them. I really thought after seeing the Oregon tape, but it was a very different team that Kermit Davis was facing Saturday that Dana Altman game plan for. I thought it would be a little more of the Dana Altman dragnet thrown over a Tiger big than it was, but it was not James Wiseman, who did play against Oregon. And I love John Harden's comments in ending his show about this Tiger team now 12-1 to win it all, according to, in my best, Brett Musburger, the boys in the desert, the Vegas betting odds. I still think there's a lot of value in the Tigers. I don't know if we did. We're not going to do it because we got so much to get to in a truncated week that we're not going to be able to get to this, but we might next week. We probably can with more time. If we went through W's and L's, I don't know that mine would be that different than we did with the full complement with Wiseman and Quinones.
Yeah, I don't think mine would be that different. I might change 1 or 2, especially with how well Tennessee is looking right now. They're now ranked 17th in the nation in the AP poll.
I think that'd be one. Wichita State anyway.
Yeah,
I think we all did.
I think we all did that, and that was kind of the clear-cut conference loss that I saw on paper being on the road there in Wichita. I think I stretched for one in Houston later in the season, but right now, I mean,
but they'll be back by then.
Yeah, I mean, Wiseman will be back. I mean, Quinones hopefully will be back in the next 3-4 weeks. So, I mean, I wouldn't change anything this week against North Carolina State. I think the Tennessee game's obviously the only one that you would question to start thinking about changing.
That's an obvious one. Tulane on Monday, December 30th, wouldn't change, but they had a good win yesterday, a 5th-place finish. They went 2-1 at the Myrtle Beach Classic, beat Utah yesterday morning. I got them watched that game. It tipped at 10 o'clock. Good win for Ron Hunter. So the league with some other good wins over the weekend. I was struck by this Saturday, too, in the crowd. And I'm just going to go with what they tell me's there. I can't take my own hand counter in there and me count a crowd. I have not seen a scan count. I'm not that concerned about it. I'm going to go with the box score attendance at 17,785. I think that was the exact amount. You know, that's bigger than Tennessee last year.
And that's shocking. I didn't think there was. Maybe it's just I had a different view of the form this game. I was on the floor for that one. Thankfully, one of our good friends hooked me up that week for those tickets. But maybe it's just I had a different view. I thought that one was more. I really did. And you were telling me that's the biggest crowd since possibly 1 versus 2.
I think. I didn't go back and check all of them. I checked some of the bigger names, a Gonzaga or 2, and a Villanova or 2, maybe an Xavier in there. I think I checked a Georgetown. I think Saturday, in the box score, biggest crowd since 1 versus 2. I think. I didn't check every single game, but I checked down the stretch of 08. I checked the beginning of 08-09, Cal's last year, the Tyreek Evans. I think I checked Syracuse in there. I checked a lot of the bigger names, and I'm getting around for both sides. And I said it Friday, both have been pretty good to each other through the years. A lot of times the other one kind of needed the other one when they ran into them. Ole Miss and Memphis needs to continue. Needs to continue in any sport, but primarily in football and men's basketball.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's obviously your money sports, and I think it does good for both fan bases, like you said. I mean,
and what's it hurt to the defeated?
Nothing. I mean, it's just realistically, it's just another loss. I mean, as much as we want to throw the word rival out there, and I think it is a healthy rivalry. I mean, it's not life or death. But even if the sun's going to come up tomorrow regardless.
If it's the most hated, meanest rivalry out there,
then you want to continue that.
And if you lose, does it kill you?
No, like I said, the sun's going to come up tomorrow.
You want to win on game day, and you probably first encounter with your buds that want to rub it in. Okay, I got to take it. But what of it? That's sports, isn't it? That's the fun of it, isn't it? And Saturday was fun. Back in August was fun. And unfortunately, and this was kind of the theme Friday, I'm afraid that it's going to be a while after next year in Oxford. And I know what both coaches are saying, but also know with no football, how do you keep that intensity going with just basketball? I'll take it, but in football, it's going to be a while. It's both teams are kind of contracted out unless you want to break a contract, and that's just heresy out there in the athletic director's world to do that unless you can get all parties to agree. The one you're breaking with, and kind of match them up with the other one being broken, because it takes a lot of moving parts to have that happen. It's 2025 at the earliest in football.
Yeah, but I think you can keep it going in basketball alone due to the fact that we're seeing that haven't played Tennessee since the mid-aughts, and basketball is still that healthy rivalry, still something I think both team bases want to see. Obviously, coaches' relationship isn't on the best of terms right now, but I think you can continue. I think it can, but I think you can continue it without football, and I think it'll still have just as much meaning.
Yeah,
and possibly even more, knowing that it's your one shot of the year against them.
And the frayed feelings, whoever real or perceived thinks they started the slide or got most of the slide. That everybody can come together and get over that. We're in our Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Man cave sale going on now at Family Leisure. 3-piece theater seating sets. They start at only $9.99. Massage chairs starting at $6.99. Pool tables start at $14.99. Shuffleboard tables start at $19.99. Complete your man cave today at Family Leisure. Still needing to close down your pool? You better do it soon. Call Family Leisure today to get on the schedule. Mention this ad, and you get $20 off. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40 today. At 3:30, we will have medals from the weekend, and we want your input there at 360-8255 at the First Bank phone line and at 67129 at the First Bank text line. Send us your medals, gold, silver, bronze, and rust from the weekend. I have a lot of all four. More weekend recap to round out Hour 1, start Hour 2. David Cobb from the Commercial Appeal covers all things Grizzlies. They had a loss Saturday night. Was it that bad of a loss, though? Sold a lot of tickets, had a lot of fun, came up with a loss. That kind of helps to get in that draft position, doesn't it?
It does.
Do you really need wins over the Lakers?
No, you don't. And if that's what your plan is going forward, is to get into the lottery, then but that's the type of game you want. You want an exciting game to where you're still accomplishing your goal and losing, and you're giving yourself hope in a game that the Grizzlies led, I want to say, probably 85% of the time.
Sure did. And I did not stay for the Lakers and Grizzlies Saturday night. I wanted to take a little bit of break. As you can tell, and I apologize for it, I got the chest crud. And it's from way down deep too. So you got to bear with me. And I thought discretion the better part of valor. Instead of staying out till 11 o'clock Saturday night, I dipped it in early. I didn't stay for the Lakers. We'll visit with David Cobb about the Laker game on Saturday. Tonight, the Grizzlies in Indianapolis. At 4:30, we talk college football with John Thompson. We'll have our Ghoul Style segment to round out Hour 2. Barrett Jones will be with us. He was in Ohio, in Columbus, Ohio on Saturday for Penn State and Ohio State. We'll get his scouting report on the Buckeyes. I think, eye test, all that good stuff. I ain't seen them in person, but I think it's the best team I've seen this year, and they've just bulldozed everybody with that margin of victory against everybody at 5:30. With it being the 100th year of the NFL and the 50th year of Monday Night Football, we'll have our Monday Night Football preview and also our Big Four for the Ravens and the Rams. All right, for the Ravens, all Baltimore. No Browns involved. No Ozzie. That's Cleveland Browns history, right?
Yes. But on the other side of that.
On the other side.
He has a statue in front of M&T. I have to bring Johnny in it. Right? Can I please do that? Because for
Johnny, you had nothing to do with Browns or Ravens.
But it's Baltimore history. I mean, then why the heck does he have a statue in front of the Raven Stadium at M&T?
Because he's Johnny Unitas.
Because he's Johnny Unitas. He is Baltimore. You can't have a Baltimore top four without putting Johnny Unitas. And for me,
I'll let you go top five.
I know the culture.
Right, what do you do with Art Donovan? What do you do with Lenny Moore? What do you do with Raymond Berry? And that gets us to the Rams. I don't really want to do St. Louis. I want to do Los Angeles Rams.
So we're just going to forget Kurt Warner and everybody else.
We're going to forget Isaac Bruce. Are we going to do that?
Isaac did play in St. Louis, or in L.A.
As a rookie.
He was on the last L.A. team.
He sure did. Torrey Holt, Marshall Faulk.
See, now that's a little iffy there. If we are just going to basically get rid of 25-plus years, I think they were in
isn't that something?
Yeah.
And really, they just kind of took a little break in St. Louis. Left L.A. and
I mean, as far as teams being a location, I mean, basically had a cup of water.
Yeah, they really did. About the same amount of time, not that much more than the Grizzlies have already been in Memphis. Not that much more.
No, but in the grand scheme of things, it's just a little blimp.
Yeah, and I think a shame. At 5:45, we'll wrap up the day with Taco Bell Crunch Time. This hour brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Give them a call at 901-362-8833. Lexus of Memphis offering the golden opportunity fall sales event and the December to remember. It is on the way. Great offers on all 2020 models and special lease options. Driving luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2020 flagship LS500, and you will be looking and driving great. Lexus of Memphis, high standards in the industry. Happy Thanksgiving to one and all from Lexus of Memphis. Online at lexusofmemphis.com, 362-8833. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
The hometown Tigers had quite the day on Saturday, didn't they? Up 16 at one point to win over Ole Miss. And I think since 1 versus 2, about the largest crowd in a box score at FedEx Forum. I think. I hadn't checked them all, but it was a great crowd Saturday. And then the football team went out and easily won over South FLA in football. It was really no nerve-wracking at all in football. A little bit early, but easily won, setting up not the biggest home game, but the biggest game anywhere. Road, home, planet Mars in Tigers football history Friday.
And we've basically been saying that, every week since the SMU victory, where it's right there in front of you, every game is now the biggest game.
How about this? A win Friday, and then host the American Athletic Conference championship game that following Saturday. That's probably going to be an 11 o'clock kick. What about game day at Tiger Lane? Leading right up to running into the stadium. Wouldn't that be better, more natural than Mercedes-Benz Dome, neutral, but a lot of Georgia fans and LSU fans, and sometimes that's been so-so TV for game day.
I think it would be great, but I doubt they want to do it twice in 1 year in the same location. I don't know if they've ever done the same location twice in a year.
Well, it really wouldn't be, though. Tiger
Lane.
Same
city, Tiger Lane, yes, compared to Bill Street, but same
all
city.
The people that wanted it there the first time, give them
Get
that.
Appease them.
And then you got the competition to show which one's better.
And then going forward, whichever one was better, then that's where we do it.
Sounds like pretty good pictures, and that's what ESPN wants. Mm-hmm. They want good TV, and they got good TV on November 2nd. Your top story.
My top story of the day, almost a perfect day for Hoop City Saturday as the Tigers beat Ole Miss in a thriller 1-point victory in the morning, and the Grizzlies lost a thriller that night against the Lakers by 1 point that they led most of the game. And like you said earlier, for the crowd of people that said, no, there's really not that much stuff going on in Memphis, you could not have been more wrong. I think both games had 17+. And just a great atmosphere both in the morning against Ole Miss and at night against the Lakers.
Yeah, and a texter at 67129 at First Bank text line has a good point. He said, I don't think Tennessee was more. No, it was not more, according to the box score. It 100% certain it was not more. But I do think it was a little louder against Tennessee because it did get broad a little more. But although Saturday rocked pretty good.
Not top story of the day.
Without James Wiseman, I think this team I don't know if you have him going nowhere. I think this team still would be the number one recruiting class. Now, if you throw him in the mix at Duke, that may tilt them up to number one, or Kentucky or Kansas are the likely suspects. But if he's just out there in the ether and with nobody, this still probably would be the number one recruiting class in the country.
Probably, if not one, definitely top two.
And without him on Saturday, this team is showing how good it can be with or without him. And then when the cavalry arrives, and it could be everything everybody wanted in the preseason. I know people are irritated about the process of him being declared ineligible, but Precious Achiuwa and DJ Jeffries, they can start for anybody, pro or college, and maybe pro.
And I think the biggest guy that's taking full advantage of this has been Alex Lomax. I mean, he's showing that he has a spot on this team and that he should be on this team for a reason.
He knows his role.
He does. He plays his role
and Drew,
the best I've seen in years.
I don't know what the number is. I'm going to say 2 or 3. That's all the threes you need from Tyler Harris. Just keep it a little loose out there at the arc. Just keep it a little. You never need him on a night that he's chunking 9 or 10. No. You don't need that.
I need him to go about 2, 3 for 6 attempts.
You got a not top?
I do have a not top story. My not top story is Dwayne Haskins missing the final play of his first career victory as a starter due to taking a selfie with a fan. So Case Keenum had to go out in victory formation in the game. And Joe Theismann, the Redskins legend, was not pleased, calling him out on Twitter, saying the selfie was unprofessional and plain out wrong.
And Joe Theismann let him wear number 7. I don't know if it had been formally retired or just mothballed in honor of Joe Theismann, but Haskins wearing number 7. I don't want to crush him over it, but it looked bad. And in the 2 Washington wins this year, I told you this. I don't know if you believe me. You gave me that look like, you sure about that? But in the 2 Washington wins this year, they've done it with 0 offensive touchdowns. That's not anything to be.
That's not anything to be proud of.
For selfies over.
No, you shouldn't be proud of that fact.
But they did win. The coach didn't like it, and Joe Theismann didn't like it. I don't know if it's that major. Not good, but I don't know if it's that major. Dave's away today. He'll be back with us next Monday. When we come back, we'll have medals. And we want yours. 67129 at the First Bank text line and at 360-8255 and a weekend recap from you. I'm looking forward to doing the Big Four for the Ravens and the Rams and the controversy with both cities kind of back and forth with what all of them have been through wherever they've been. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats and Drew Barrett on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
I want to invite you to come by the Spirit Shop. You know, that little log cabin on Poplar? Your liquor and wine oasis. The Spirit Shop has been providing sports fans their beverage needs since way back in 1969. So come in now and get ready for the big game. Whether your favorite team wins or loses, the Spirit Shop will help you celebrate or ease that pain away. The Spirit Shop is open every day, and they're located perfectly at 4848 Poplar. That's the corner of Poplar and St. Nick.
No matter what's your past credit, no matter how much you owe on your trade, no matter if you tried to buy at another dealer and were turned down, Sunrise Buick GMC can get you financed. There's never been a better time to trade. Sunrise has hundreds of new vehicles and over $5 million in used car inventory, specializing in cars and trucks under $10,000. Sunrise has the lowest prices and will not be undersold. Bad credit, bankrupt, slow pay, Sunrise gets you financed when no one else can. Check out the inventory and apply online at sunrisememphis.com. The November blowout sale going on now at all Sunrise locations. Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
Farmers Insurance knows that when you're in the car and that song comes on, yes, that's the one, you have no choice but to pull out your imaginary drumsticks and smash those cymbals and stomp on that kick pedal, which unfortunately is the accelerator pedal. And we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent who knows a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. For more than 26 years, they've supplied all the diesel parts that you need. From simple repairs to complete overhauls, they have it all. Whether it's heavy, medium, light duty, agricultural, marine, or off-road, Mid-South Power is the leading source for all things diesel. Fuel injection, turbochargers, engine parts, alternators, starters, and brakes. They can supply all the parts and services you need. Stop in today at 3250 Mill Branch Road in Memphis or call 901-396-0710. Join Sports 56 middays this Wednesday from 10 to 3 at Top Gun, formerly Range USA in Bartlett. Top Gun at 2770 Whitten Road wants you to come out to the largest gun range in the Mid-South and shoot for free. While Sports 56 is there, you can stop by for a free range pass that you can use anytime. Chow down on some amazing barbecue and smoked queso from Ferguson's Barbecue. Tons of specials on guns, ammo, and memberships just in time for Black Friday. And we'll have 2 pair of Memphis-Cincinnati tickets up for grabs. This Wednesday, 10 to 3 at Top Gun in Bartlett with Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolochin and Brett Norsworthy.
Busy week for Dave. Boy, I'm sad he's not here today, but Drew, he's done it. He's one game ahead in the football picks.
I'm glad he's not here so we don't have to hear it.
I am too. Boy, we will never hear the end of this, will we?
I say we just don't tell him.
Well, you didn't see the group text, did you?
No, I didn't.
Standings. I'm trying to figure out a way to just purely cheat him. I don't know how I can do it. But
well, you and Rob were pretty good at doing it for multiple years, so I'm sure you can figure it out.
I really am offended by that. I don't know why you would such a scurrilous accusation that I'd be a party to that. Rob may have. I never had anything to do
You're
with
right. I should never accuse the chairman of the Ethics and Committee Board here.
Standards and Ethics Board. That's right. I did not have anything to do with it, but he pulled ahead by one game after this weekend. He has been hot, and it started, and I can tell you exactly the insult that started it. Do you remember the Friday afternoon, Friday, November 1st? I'm in Montgomery, And we have Jerry the King Lawler on with us, getting ready for game day the next day. And Jerry says, and Dave said, are you working on your picks? And Jerry Lawler said, well, I am. I need your help on them. It was directed to Dave. I need your help on them. And I sniffed and I went, why do you need those crummy picks he's had all year? Remember?
I do remember that.
And I mean, from that point on, Dave has been cooking with hot grease. I mean, bad week's been 7-3. He's had a 9-1 in there, a couple 8-2s, a bunch of about 4 weeks of it. So 2 7-3s, 8-1, and a 9-2, I think.
Yeah, up until this week, I've actually been on somewhat of a hot streak. I think I went 8-2, then 7-3, and I think I'm down at like 6-4 this week because I had a bad week in the NFL.
We will do Friday football forecast picks tomorrow. I know weird, but it's that kind of week. Everybody knows that with schedules and stuff, because Friday afternoon we'll have college football on during our time slot. So we'll do the football picks tomorrow. And we got to get his in. There will be a lot of college games because all these great rivalries. Saturday is my favorite Saturday of the sports year. My favorite Sunday of the sports year is the Sunday of Augusta National, of the Masters. But this Saturday, the rivalry weekend, and while I very much enjoy the Egg Bowl on Thanksgiving night. I liked it the few years we had it on Friday. There's a little conversation about it maybe going back to Friday. Got this year contracted on Thanksgiving night, and next year in Oxford is contracted for Thanksgiving night. And then after that, there's a little conversation about it going to Friday going forward. I wouldn't mind it being a Friday 11 o'clock, 11:30 game leading into that CBS 1:30 game, maybe something on the SEC network at 11 or so on Friday, and then they have the CBS game at 1:30. I wouldn't mind the Friday of Thanksgiving, it being Friday night. That would interrupt, day after Thanksgiving shopping for people that want to do that. I can't imagine being in that crowd.
Oh, no. I've never once tried to do it.
I think I'd rather be beaten than be out there at the mall at 6:30.
Because you're going to get beaten anyways. You're going to get slammed up against stuff.
Good chance I get trampled.
Yes.
And I don't want to sound like a snoot, but I know some want to for the budget.
There's nothing I want to buy that bad.
I don't need to save $40 that bad. I just really don't. I don't need anything that bad.
I don't either.
The great example of it's critical to life, the difference between want and need. I just don't want anything that bad, and I don't need it to go out to the mall and get the hell beat out of me over it.
No, I've never once wanted anything where I figured I might have to risk getting trampled or punched in the face over.
And I'm not a big shopper.
I hate shopping. I hate buying things.
I don't mind if again, the need aspect, but to be out there in line and jostling for position, and I say and a lot of people like the game. And a lot of people love the game of waiting to the last second on Christmas Eve. I can't imagine doing that.
I unfortunately do wait till probably the last second, and that's not out of wanting to do it. That's out of forgetting to do it.
Yeah,
because I delay on everything. When I have to go buy stuff, I delay. I put it off and put it off.
But I do enjoy the Egg Bowl on Thursday. The years we've had it a couple times there, and it's moved off of there. But I liked it the few years we were on Friday. But on Saturday, I mean, around the country, everywhere you look, I mean, it's pitch battle. It's bragging rights. And I think in the Virginia Tech, is it 17 in a row that Virginia Tech's won?
I believe it's something around there. I know it's 15 plus.
It's a big number. Can you imagine if that was in Egg or Iron or Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia Tech world? If it got up to 17 straight, I mean, just how insufferable whoever had.
I mean, we're kind of getting there in Michigan and Ohio State, though.
Nah, we're not close to 17.
We're not close to 17, but we're at least 5, I believe, right?
I mean, yeah, but that's a world of difference between 17 and a pretty big Virginia Tech game this weekend with everything on the line in that one. North Carolina and North Carolina State. North Carolina needs to win right now. We need 78 teams, 6-6 or better for bowls. There's 39 bowls. 2 teams will play twice, but there's 39 bowls, so you need 78 teams, and 72 are there. So you need 6 more. There's a game tomorrow night in the MAC that's prime for somebody going from 5 to 6. And then, of course, Mississippi State on Thursday night. That would probably seal it if State won on Thursday to get everybody eligible. If not, then the APR world could come into play. And before I say anything ugly about it, I think the Ole Miss APR puts them up there to be bowl eligible. You know, if you get invited, you can't turn it down. The league won't let you.
No, and I think you should want to go. I mean, I know it's not my team, but I mean, it's been a while since you've been able to enjoy it. I know it's not feeling like you earned it, getting to the 500 mark, but I mean, it's really
6 is a little bit.
Is 6-6 really earning postseason play? But if I'm Ole Miss, I'm sitting there at 5-7, and I get the invite, I'll take it. I mean, just to give the fans something to have over a Christmas break like that.
You know, I don't think you can turn down a bowl bid anymore. I know you can't turn down an NCAA tournament invitation, and I don't think you can turn down a bowl bid. In the past, far different world, in a land far, far away, in 1970, Arkansas opened the season on national TV. The first big game of the 70s was on national TV. Chris Yankel and Bud Wilkinson and Bill Fleming in Little Rock, and Arkansas narrowly lost to Stanford and Jim Plunkett. He went on and won the Heisman that year. They lose that night, 34-28. They win the next 9 weeks in a row, and then close out the year losing badly, 42-7 in big shootout too. They go 9-2. I mean, that would be Group of 6 bowl now. I mean,
you're in the Group of 6. You're in the New Year's 6.
That'd be desired bowl team now. They didn't go to a bowl. Coach Sproles turned it down. Said, no, don't want to go to one. The Liberty Bowl was begging and turned down the Liberty Bowl. Came the next year, 8-2-1, and lost to Tennessee. And I've told you the story about Al McGuire in the early 70s with his running feud with the NCAA. And he stayed into it with them. He knew they were no good scalawags 50 years ago. And he turned down an NCAA bid at Marquette with a team that might have won it, that darn sure could have gotten to a Final Four to go to an NIT. No athletics director. You'd get fired.
There's no way. If you even walked in asking if you could do it, he'd show you the door right then and there.
You send him to the state hospital, check his sanity. You want to go to what? Instead of the NCAA tournament? Yeah, there's just no way it happens.
And with the whole bowl thing, I hate that that's kind of a barometer of how we judge a long-term success of a program, especially going back to 100 years when a lot of these programs, or more when a lot of these programs started, of how good has a program actually been throughout the years. And I know Memphis probably isn't the best example to use, but if we literally had the same bowl setup that we do now, it's finish 500 or better, you get a bowl bid. Memphis would have 58 bowl bids at this point in their 107-year history. I mean, that's a good program.
Yeah,
you think about it.
It would look a lot different. And, then all those years that Notre Dame wouldn't go to a bowl. Wouldn't go to a bowl if they were undefeated.
Which is just weird. Y'all really didn't know what y'all were doing.
Well, Drew, you're really making me feel like we probably didn't. It was a lot of winging it. 67129 at the First Bank text line, 360-8255 at the First Bank phone line. Saw a lot of the First Bank bankers and people and their friends Saturday at the game. That's what you see with First Bank. You see them around the community, whether it's social or sports. And if you need them, that's the place to go. Visit firstbankonline.com. And First Bank, they know what you need. Reliable, trustworthy Memphis bankers that can give you an answer about your business right here in Memphis. It's not in Atlanta. It's not in Birmingham. It's not in Nashville or Knoxville that they're making decisions about you and your business. They do it right here in Memphis from people that know what you need, a direct answer from the First Bank banker you're dealing with. First Bank have stories and a record of customers reaching high. Community banks, the preferred lender of people building a success story. Build your success story with First Bank. Visit firstbankonline.com. That's firstbankonline.com. Texter at the First Bank text line says it's not the biggest game. The Tigers have played for conference championships the last 2 years. They barely squeezed into it last year.
A lot had to go right. I mean, we had to have about 5-6 different games go the right way for us to even squeak in there.
Most of the time, I'm very respectful of a difference in opinion. No, this is for the biggest stakes ever, money-wise, the publicity-wise. the chance of maybe Notre Dame, maybe Florida. How about that?
I've seen a lot of Florida out there. And here's another reason why.
I wouldn't be scared of that game.
Why I wouldn't either.
For the Tigers competition-wise, and I'm going to do this more at the end of the year, kind of our old SEC Tigers rankings. And I'm going to set it up when we do it with me and you and Dave, if the Tigers were playing them at the Liberty Bowl, at their stadium, or at neutral. And you go through it and try to be pretty fair about it. The Tigers stack up really well. There's some that you don't even enter into the discussion about. Ole Miss, State, Arkansas, Vandy, Tennessee,
Kentucky,
Mizzou, South Carolina. Even as plucky as Tennessee's playing, and I love their effort. I love what Jeremy Pruitt did with his team after that 0-2 start to keep them from tossing the towel, just giving up. I love what he's done. Still not a very good team. It's scrappy. It's plucky. It fights hard. It hangs in there. Garantano had a big game Saturday. It was a fun game to watch. They compete hard. They're getting tough. They're becoming an extension of him. They're not very good, though. Memphis wins all three places against them. Road home neutral.
I completely agree. And to the texter, I'll tell you exactly why this is the biggest game. And it has nothing to do.
You, texter, but you're wrong.
We do. It has nothing to do with,
wrong.
We've been in the I'm not going to go after them like that.
I hate people doing that.
But it's not just the fact that we've been in the conference championship the last 2 years. We're making this the third year, hopefully in a row, with the win on Friday against Cincinnati.
Did it?
Kinda.
Okay.
But one, it sets up a chance to host an American Athletic Conference championship. It's big, and that's not even the real reason why it's the biggest game. This is if you win Friday, first 11-win season in program history.
Yeah.
In 117 years of playing, it's the first time you've won 11 games. That's why it's the biggest game.
And and thank you, Texter. Really do appreciate your input every day. And we know that person. We like that person a lot. But Friday is everything, because as we mentioned,
because if you lose, everything's gone,
and there's no soft landing like in a lot of the Power 5 leagues. We'll use the SEC for example because it's local and we all know it. The loser of, I'm trying to get the example exactly right, the comparison, it's really not one, because LSU's not going to lose.
And Georgia's going to end up in a New Year's Six probably anyways.
But if they did, let's say it was Alabama and Auburn instead of and 2 years ago, like it was, Alabama lost that day. The soft landing, they were in the football 4. After Auburn got beat the next weekend, it's not going to work out that way for Memphis. This is as close to Cotton Bowl as may ever get again, ever.
And like you said, there's no soft landing. It's either Cotton Bowl or Frisco or Boca Raton or Birmingham. And goodness gracious, I love the Tigers, but I don't know if you could pay me enough to go back to Birmingham.
And in comparison with the buildup of this year and what on the verge of, anything is going to look less. Anything. 2 years ago, the soft landing was first time ever the hometown team in the hometown bowl. That was a pretty good soft landing.
I'd take it.
And for as disappointed as you were that Monday, and Tigers fan, I said, as we build up to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, this will abate a little. And it did some.
It did. It still felt special to having gone to that bowl game all my life, especially in all those years that the Tigers weren't in a bowl game. For that to be my bowl experience of the year, it did mean a lot because I've been to that game so many times, and to finally see my team in my hometown bowl really did mean something.
But this year, no Cotton Bowl, then it's all SmoothieKing.com Frisco Bowl. I don't even know if that's the name of it. And to make it even worse, if it's that bowl in Frisco, I think it's around the same time as the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. And, boy, to get down there and see that bunch from Boise strutting around. And you've not been around a more arrogant fan base in your life than the Boise bunch.
Or if it's not Boise, if it's Cincinnati, having to look those people in the eye again after beating them 1 week and losing in the conference championship, and knowing that you think that you're the better team, but they're getting all the spoils.
There are very few opposing fan bases that I've never not done pretty okay with. I don't go looking for a ruckus, and I didn't in this case. I don't go looking for a ruckus.
Oh, I never do.
And I've never had one. I can find something redeemable about just about anybody's fan base, history, tradition. You know, but for growing up where I did, if I grew up there, I could see me there, and it'd be okay. That bunch from Boise, when Ole Miss played them in the Chick-fil-A kickoff game, aggressive with their arrogance. I mean, something else to deal with. Look, this week we're going to eat a lot. It's feast week, and you're going to tailgate on Friday. You're going to have a lot of people in. I suggest, look, we're all going to have our traditional holiday fare, but I suggest don't forget about Jason's Deli this week. Get something to go. The catering for a bigger group, for maybe the day after Thanksgiving to watch all the games, and to tailgate Friday afternoon on Tiger Lane. Jason's Deli, all about choice, regardless if you seek a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids meals. If you'd like to invent your sandwich via the Build Your Own selection, you'll be delighted at Jason's Deli. All the holiday parties we're getting ready to have, keep them in mind on the catering anytime, anywhere. And if you're in these locations, Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova, don't forget about the free ice cream. And at nighttime, coming up at dinner time, also keep them on your list at nighttime. All those salads, all the meats, cheeses, bread, spreads, soups, all the great food at Jason's Deli. Again, Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com. We come back. I promise we get to medals. That's next. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats and Drew Barrett on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Get happy with Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Weekday afternoons from 1 till 3 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. With a family coming home for the holidays, are you going to be running out of hot water? Not with a tankless water heater from Conway Services. It may be time for a tankless water heater that never runs out of hot water. Conway Services is making now the perfect time to replace that old energy-guzzling tanked water heater with 24 months to pay, interest-free. Or I'll give you $250 for that old tanked water heater. These energy-saving models only heat the water you use, saving you money on your gas bill every month. Plus, no more worrying about that tank bursting in your attic either. And with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier tankless water heater professionals at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old water heater will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Jim Gray from Westwood One here with a Monday Night Football preview. Coming up, the hottest team in the league, the Baltimore Ravens, take their 6-game winning streak on the road to Los Angeles to face the Rams. The Ravens lead the league in rushing with Mark Ingram and dual-threat second-year quarterback, the stunning Lamar Jackson. Head coach John Harbaugh says the MVP candidate Jackson is still improving.
Even from practice to practice, he's so locked in, he's so focused on the details. He sees the field really well. He understands the concepts that we're putting in, and he just continues to improve. He's not a guy that repeats mistakes. He's just not that kind of a guy, and those are usually the guys that get good at what they do.
A primetime game last week moved Jared Goff and the Rams to 6-4 on the season. Kevin Harlan and Hall of Famer Kurt Warner will have the call on Monday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Napa know-how.
Just in time for the holidays, select Craftsman tools are now available at Napa. Celebrate with a Craftsman 20-volt cordless impact wrench kit for just $149.99. It's the perfect gift for everyone in your list, even you. So get great savings on select Craftsman tools, now available at your local Napa store. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa Know-How.
Napa Know-How.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer ends 12/31/19.
Pros like you find savings every day at Lowe's. But with our Black Friday deals, you can save even more. Buy a DeWalt 12-inch 15-amp dual bevel sliding compound miter saw for just $3.99. And you'll get a DeWalt heavy-duty adjustable miter saw stand absolutely free. Load up on extra batteries and get a 4-pack of DeWalt batteries for $140 less. Now $159 for this week only. For Black Friday deals like these and more, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Saw offer valid 11/27 through 12/5. Battery offer valid 11/28 through 12/4. U.S. only.
I really didn't think it was possible to make Sweetgrass any better.
And yet they did. With Sweetgrass and Next Door merging into one big place, you get the best of both worlds.
Exactly. We still get our favorites from the Sweetgrass menu, some of the best food in town.
And we get to watch the games that were always on at Next Door, but now you can see them from anywhere in the place.
It's like a nice restaurant with extra added sports goodness. They kept what was special about each place and added them together to make something new and different.
Great restaurant.
Great bar. Sweetgrass Next Door really is Memphis's greatest neighborhood place.
Ordinary bar soaps may do a good job of cleansing. Easy. Done and done. But with Dove, you get a whole lot more. Because every bar is made with 1/4 moisturizing cream. So you get a gentle clean that leaves skin feeling soft, smooth, and nourished. Upgrade to Dove, the bar that gives you more. It cleanses and cares. Plus, it's #1 recommended by dermatologists. Now that is money well spent. Dove. Get more from your beauty bar.
New Life Medical Center has moved to a new, larger location that allows them to better serve their patients. I go to New Life Medical Center for testosterone replacement therapy, which is one of many things they do. They also treat erectile dysfunction and can relieve the pain of joint injuries with stem cell and platelet-rich plasma treatments. They also take care of patients with diabetes, high blood pressure, sick visits, and much more with no appointment necessary and minimal wait times. New Life Medical Center is now at 9160 Highway 64. That's just off I-40. Stop in and see what they can do for you.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
It is medals time. I'll start with bronze. I'm going to give one to Baker Mayfield. Been a little rough on him this year. Browns are starting to get hot at the right time. 3 touchdowns yesterday and playing much better. Give a bronze to the Jets. They crushed the Raiders. Who saw that coming? They crushed the Raiders. Wasn't exactly the Heidi game. Hit the Google machine if you don't know what we're talking about. We didn't get that right either. That's the big one, Drew. I'll tell you about it someday. Wasn't the Heidi game yesterday, but Sam Darnold will be a great one, I think. I don't know if he'll be Broadway Sam, but he's going to be good. And a bronze to the Tennessee Vols. The last 2 road games against Kentucky and Mizzou, neither win over outstanding teams. But it was tough, hard-nosed efforts for Tennessee, and now they're bowl eligible, and we'll see if we get them in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Silver goes to Ja Morant. He did everything but beat the Lakers Saturday, and that's okay. Need another big piece, and that may help toward the end of the year in getting that big piece. Clear front runner early for Rookie of the Year for Ja Morant. Silver, I know it's early, and I know it hadn't been against very much, but Arkansas basketball, Eric Musselman. Watch them play. They play their tails off. They really play hard. Going to run into a few more games that are a little bit tougher, but so far so good for Eric Musselman, and so far so good for Hunter Yurachek in that hire. Also a silver, too, the college basketball this week and all the interesting matchups. You can do serious strength of schedule and RPI work this week. Quality win can come this week for a lot of teams. And really, a lot of bubbles can be burst this week because you don't get that kind of matchup again the rest of the year. Gold to Ohio State. Their margin of victory, it's record-setting, and now just a win away, just by 1 at the Big House, and they play in the Big Ten championship game and on to the college football playoff. Ryan Day, rookie head coach. Justin Fields, rookie starter at quarterback. They're having some year. Gold goes to Precious Chua and DJ Jeffries. That combo was way too much for Ole Miss. the last time for Ole Miss to win or for Memphis to beat Ole Miss in football and basketball? Do you know it?
2003.
That's it. D'Angelo over Eli Manning that year, and in hoops, 73-62. Hoops was in Oxford. Last time for Memphis to win both of them in Memphis.
1986.
1983. Billy Brewer's first game as head coach of the Rebels. Resounding Memphis win that night, and then 73-55. I was at both of them in 83, and I was at both of them this year. Gold goes to Clemson. No, they didn't play this weekend, but with a 26-game win streak, longest in the nation, and somehow under the radar. How's Clemson under the radar? They are, and final goes to crazy old Herm Edwards. I say that lovingly. He got tight down the stretch Saturday night and almost coughed up that upset, but he didn't. He held on, and Oregon got the win. Russ goes to the SEC slop of a schedule last weekend. Disgraceful to charge your fans to see those games, and a lot of them said, I'm not going. All those empty seats, and I don't blame them. Russ goes to the New York Giants. Thought Daniel Jones was going to be the answer this year. Yeah, let's get rid of Eli Manning. There's a lot more problems with the Giants than Eli Manning. A lot more problems with the Giants than Daniel Jones. Russ goes to the Arkansas nightmare. Continues. They started their fourth different quarterback Saturday. And if Razorback fans think K.J. Jefferson's the answer going forward, then stop. He's not. He's not going to be. They 4-19 the last 2 years for Arkansas, and it's just about over. And final Russ goes to Texas. They lose, and they finally don't receive any votes. It's about time. Tom Herman just may not be that good. Have we considered that?
No, we haven't considered that yet.
No, we haven't, because we thought he was.
But it's something to think about.
We thought he was boy wonder. Hour 1 in the books. When we come back, we start hour 2 with David Cobb. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats and Drew Baird on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
You're scrambling around. You need a haircut. Where you gonna go? I got a place that has 15 locations. I've got a place where details matter. I've got a place that can be invigorating and relaxing at the same time. You know what it is. It's Supercuts. Every haircut ends with the signature hot towel finish. Every haircut matters. When you're getting ready, you go into Supercuts. The stylist will pay attention to every detail, so you get the haircut you want. And, of course, you're going to finish with that signature hot towel. You walk out clean, sharp, and not just ready, but super ready. And you might want to ask that hairstylist about what the tea tree experience is. One part invigorating, one part relaxing. The tea tree experience is something you need to try. 15 locations. I mentioned that, didn't I? All you've got to do is go to supercuts.com. You'll find the one nearest to you. Get super ready at Supercuts.
The holiday season is here, and it's time for our best offer of the year during the Ford Black Friday event. Now, for a limited time, get 20% estimated savings on select 2019 Ford models. You're ready, and so are we. Start the season off right, and don't wait to enjoy our best deal of the season. That is 20% estimated savings on select 2019 Ford models. The Ford Black Friday event ends soon, so hurry in today. Eligible on select 2019 model year vehicles. Vehicle must have arrived at dealer at least 61 days prior to the sale date. Estimated savings include an average dealer discount based on a sales survey of average discounts offered by Ford dealers nationally. Discount may vary. Dealer determines price. For all offers, take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by December 2nd, 2019. See participating dealer for complete details.
When you're in need of quality jeans, shirts, and boots, think Frontier Western Store in Olive Branch. Frontier has thousands of square feet of merchandising at everyday low prices. Tons of jeans by Carhartt, Wrangler, and Ariat. Whether you're after classic denim jeans, dungarees, or work pants, you'll find them among Frontier's amazing selection of stylish modern fits. Flame retardant jeans and shirts now available as well. Colder weather is on the way, and Frontier is prepared with overalls, coats, and fleece jackets. Women's Sherpa jackets by Simply Southern starting just $29.99. Don't forget the boots. Frontier boasts dozens and dozens of styles of boots. Work, dress, or play. Come try on the latest boot trends as well as proven classics. Ariat, Durango, Dan Post, and many, many more. You are guaranteed to find your next favorite pair at Frontier. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, or shop online 24/7 at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
The Starlight Lounge presents An Evening with the Progressive Box.
I took a bit of a risk singing that song, but of course the one place I never take chances is the road, where Progressive Snapshot rewards your safe driving. A good driver plus Snapshot equals big discounts. And speaking of math, 1 + 1 = 2, little too late.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California, North Carolina, or from all agents.
Rebels play here.
Pass to Tyree, pulls for a three. Good! What a bucket! A three in transition. Dunked by Buffin. Oh, my goodness.
Yes!
Now Schuler fires a three. Good! DeMarte Schuler with a dagger.
Catch the action all season long on your exclusive home for the Rebels.
Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Hour 2 begins now with David Cobb from the Commercial Appeal talking all things Grizzlies. He's on that beat, doing a great job with it. Last week, not as good a week for the Grizzlies as the week before. A little bit of the learning curve, and some of it understandable, and some of it, and this year, acceptable. We talk to David Cobb every Monday at this time. We bring him on now to talk all things Grizz. And David, really Saturday night, all's
How's
well.
it going?
Going well, David. All's well that kind of ended well. Showed spark, had a big crowd. A lot of people turned on to Ja Morant Saturday night and this year. But for the long-term future, losses this year just aren't that bad.
No, they really aren't. I was looking at the revamped lottery odds today because I included something about that in a story I wrote this afternoon. And as I was looking at that, it dawned on me that only the teams with the 2 worst records in the NBA are guaranteed picks in the top 6. So what that means is the Grizzlies would have to have one of the 2 worst records in the NBA to guarantee that they have a draft pick next year, in the first round at least. So as good as they've been to this point, I don't think it's likely that they're going to be worse than the Warriors and worse than the Knicks when it's all said and done. So, I mean, it kind of depends on what your objectives are as a fan or an observer. But, I mean, you're right. Losing isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world. It's not as painful as maybe it was last year, that's for sure.
I think my objective is both of those things, both as a fan and as an observer, would be I want the Grizzlies being able to go for sure the playoffs. I don't know how the seeding will be by then, and we'll talk with you about that as well. I don't know if the playoffs will look exactly like they look now, getting into them. But under today's construct, about a 5 or 6 seed for the 2022 playoffs. Whatever the Grizzlies have to do to get good by then, that's what I want them doing over the balance of calendar year 19 and the beginning of 2020. That's what I want.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, maybe I'm naive, Stats, but, I mean, based off what you've seen from this team, do you feel like, hey, if they add a top 6 pick to the mix this summer, could they maybe compete for a final playoff spot next season? I mean, is that on the cards at all? I'm curious what people think.
That would be at the end of 2021, and maybe so, and that would be fine. And the piece I would want would be James Wiseman. Now I think it's been pretty established that going forward, Jay Crowder is a piece going forward.
Well, I don't know. Is he a piece for this team, or is he just proving that he could be a piece for another team?
Could be either, yeah.
At this season, I mean, him playing well, it has absolutely nothing but positive ramifications for the Grizzlies.
That's right.
Because, I mean, either, hey, he says, I like it here, and they come to some sort of a deal where he gets more long-term security than he could probably get elsewhere, or they move him because he's shooting the ball 37% from three, and there's a playoff team out there that feels like they could use him. So that's definitely something to monitor, because if they can engineer a creative return for Crowder, for Iguodala, they could add a piece or a draft pick or multiple pieces or multiple draft picks, depending on how it all shakes out and what sort of bad money they might be able to take on in return.
And the skill set, and I think just the natural improvement of Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson going forward, that's two big pieces. I'm firm believers in both. I've had a few worries this year about Jaren, as a lot of people, but it's nothing long term. I don't think it's really cause for panic, but so far this year, it's been unsteady.
Yeah, unsteady is a good word, but the highs have been high enough to make you feel, to make me feel like, okay, well, yeah, he's had some disastrous nights, but we still see the potential. About every third game, he's got a really, really nice game. And it's striking when you look at the games in which he's had 5 or more fouls versus the game when he's committed 4 fouls or less. His point production and just his overall offensive efficiency is so much higher in those games when he's not in foul trouble. And so you can just see it by looking at the numbers. You don't even need to look at the numbers. All you got to do really is watch his body language when he gets in foul trouble. It makes all the difference in the world for him, because when he stays out of foul trouble, he's been generally pretty effective, with the exception of one game where he posted a goose egg. But when he's in foul trouble, it throws him out of whack. He gets so frustrated by it.
You see the shoulder slump.
You do, and that's a product of this guy not yet being old enough to buy alcohol. He's 20 years old. It's just the way it is with a guy that's that young. And I see no reason 15 games in it to be worried about him long term.
I don't either, David. And you mentioned 15 games in, 5 up, 10 down. And this was, and we're still in a more amenable part of the schedule before it really gets tough after the new calendar year. If the Grizzlies were going to harvest some wins, I thought it was going to be before around January 2nd or so, when they start a long or 3-game West Coast road trip, and then a pretty good homestand the rest of January, and then I think it's going to be the long slog from there on. So if you, whatever your rooting interests are, and I know there are hardcore fans, they go out there and they want to see wins. I understand that, that's fine, but also I think people are very realistic about kind of paying the piper now for that long-term good.
Yeah, read the national coverage that's out there, the Grizzlies right now. ESPN, Sports Illustrated, you name it, The Athletic. Anyone who covers the NBA from a national perspective that has anything to say about the Grizzlies, it's pretty much been something like this. Yeah, they're not great, but they're the best kind of not great, which is fun. And I think that's all you could ask for this season as a Grizzlies fan. I mean, think how bad this would be. And I think I've said this before, but think if they had ended up with the number 6 pick and they drafted Jarrett Culver instead of Ja Morant because they had no choice. And then think about if they hadn't traded up to number 21 to get Brandon Clark and they had drafted Darius Baisley or something. I think how terrible this would be.
Yes.
I mean, it would be awful. You probably wouldn't even want to have me on every week to talk about the Grizzlies.
Of course I would, David, because you know how much I think of you.
I know, yeah. We'd probably be going off on SEC football tangents.
And we never do that, do we? We don't have to.
We're pretty good about
because we got good subject matter.
Keeping the first thing first. Exactly. We don't because these guys are fun. There's something to talk about with them. And I can see it in what I do because I can see how often or how much people are reading, what they're interested in, and they're more interested in this Grizzlies team right now that's 5-10 than they were in the Grizzlies team last year that started out 12-5.
Started 12. Woke up Thanksgiving morning, first place in the Western Conference.
Isn't that crazy? What a difference a year can make. But after everything that's happened over the last year, for the Grizzlies to be where they are now, after how terribly things went about from this point last year, I think they're in a really good spot. And you're, like I said, go read some of the national stuff that's out there. on this team, and I think you'll feel encouraged if you're not already from what you've seen from this team.
And that 12-5 start last year, 7 over 500, and I said after it started hitting the slide last year, when will the next time we look at the standings and the Grizzlies are 7 over 500? And I think whenever that is, it's not going to be this year. I don't know if it'll be the early part of next year even. The early part. It might be, into calendar year 21, and that shooting the Rapids like you mentioned and maybe squeezing in that year. But whenever the next time the Grizzlies are 7 over 500, that's when I think you can mark it, the demarcation for turning the corner.
Yeah, it might be a while. Now. So I'll let you count Summer League. I think they finished Summer League about 7 games for 500.
I don't count it.
Yeah, it might be a while. Still.
And tonight in Indiana, and then Wednesday night against the Clippers, Friday night against Utah, another Mike Conley return on Friday night this week, and could be a fun week. Last week was a little bit of a sobering up after the 3-1 week the week before.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that Warriors game was
the low point of the year.
I think so. I mean, they played pretty terribly against the Lakers the first time, but they were in that game for 2.5 quarters out in LA the first time. They looked pretty bad against the Magic, but I mean, you can't go out there and do what the Grizzlies did against that Warriors team. That Warriors team went the next night and got blown out by like more than 50 at Dallas. I mean, that was a really bad Warriors team, and the Grizzlies were just hapless. But I think I don't know exactly what to assign the blame for that on. They had come off a number of pretty big games going into that one. I think that that first Conley visit was just an incredibly emotional game for them. And they were maybe starting to feel themselves a little bit after back-to-back road wins in Charlotte, San Antonio. And they were pretty bad against both the Nuggets and then against the Warriors, but it certainly looked a lot better against the Lakers. I think that's a product partially of the environment. I think that packed arena, I think they were jazzed to wear those jerseys. And, just sort of the focus was there because of some of those other factors, I think. And it should be here this week. I don't know how else they can get for a game at Indiana, but you got Kawhi and Paul George coming in here on Wednesday, and then the Jazz coming back on Friday. So it's another big week for this group.
David, I give Adam Silver high marks for everything he's done from day one, even the low point, and that was the October, or late September, early October crisis and mismanagement of the China issue. But he has seemed to extricate himself from that. He has always been, I don't know who's got the bigger suggestion box outside their office, Adam Silver or Rob Manfred with Major League Baseball. Roger Goodell doesn't listen to a soul. There's no need to put a suggestion box outside his office because he's going to do what he darn well pleases and count all the money all the way to the bank. But Adam Silver is really thinking big stuff. He's been floating it for a while. Now they got to get it to the Players Association, through the Players Association, and the big stumbling block's going to be money. Well, you cut games, how much will the check be cut? Well, if it's down to 78 games, I don't think it'll be any. And especially if they have the in-season tournament and the play-in stuff. I don't want to ridicule it or impeach it before I've really seen the final idea. And I don't mind change. Now, I say all that, don't do one thing to my baseball.
Well, I just think that the historical significance of playing 162 is so just rooted in baseball that, I mean, basketball is different in that regard. Like, history's not as long. Like, I don't know. I mean, I think the science suggests with all the load management now that, hey, why not shorten it? Like, we're already talking about that anyway. Like, yeah, sure. Like, even if it does go down to 78 for a lot of teams, whoever advances into this tournament might still play, 82. So I don't have a problem with it. I mean, the thing that I'm curious about is what are the people who carry these games on TV, what do they think about it? I mean,
that's the big
are they going to be, are they going to be willing to, pay more for less games or, to pony up to televise the in-season tournament? I mean, is it going to have enough sort of, I don't know, popularity among the fans? Like, that's kind of my thing is, are the fans really going to be into an in-season tournament? Are the players going to be into it? Are they going to financially incentivize the players to play it? you can't just do that and expect it to work because I don't know. To me, there's got to be some incentives there. I'm not talking like, Major League Baseball All-Star Game where they try to give the winner, give their conference or their league home field advantage or anything. But like, I think it's maybe a financial incentive for the players. I think maybe that's it, so they don't take load management days during the in-season tournament. I just think there's got to be something there to kind of make it work and incentivize it.
I wonder when I'm looking. I'm at Basketball Reference now, and I went to the 59-60 season, and the schedule was 75 games that year. I don't know when they went to 82. I know the ABA. This is odd. I want to say the ABA when Memphis had the pros, TAMs, and Sounds. I want to say it was an 84 game season. I don't have that much trouble with backing up now in baseball. If it went from 162 back to the 154 that it was up until the late 50s, early 60s, somewhere in there, I'd kind of be okay with that. But I don't want to change baseball's postseason when I said don't touch my baseball. But for the NBA to have that in-season tournament and very much after kind of the soccer style, I think it could be okay. It could be fun.
Yeah, it could. I think the one that to me might be best for the game, the suggestion that was floated, in the media this past weekend, is this thing where you have a play-in for the playoffs for teams that are seeded 7 through 10 in each conference. Like, I actually think that could be really beneficial because when you start talking about the end of the NBA regular season and the first round of the playoffs, that's kind of a time when the casual fan likes to take their shots at the NBA for the length of the playoffs. 4 best of 7 rounds. It can be pretty laborious.
Not a lot of drama,
right? For the casual fan. Well, if all of a sudden you have a couple of win or go home games to kick the thing off, I think that spikes the excitement, that spikes the interest out of the gate because those become almost must-watch games, kind of like the wild card play-ins have become for Major League Baseball. So I'm a big fan of that idea. I think more so than the in-season tournament. I could be sold on the in-season tournament, but to me, the one that I think would be best for the game is probably the playoff proposal.
And the TV partners, naturally, because they're paying the freight, they will be clued in and mostly give the yay or nay to it. But I applaud the commissioner for trying it. One last thing with David Cobb from the Commercial Appeal, who covers the Grizzlies. David, anybody that went Saturday night, anybody that's been to a game this year, and they've gotten to witness Ja Morant in person, I think he's making them a fan. I think he's making them want to come back. That's progress this year, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's unreal. And what shocks me about him is that every game, it seems like somebody discovers him for the first time. There'll be somebody on my Twitter timeline or somebody who says something to me after the game about Ja Morant, and it's kind of like it was the first time they'd seen him, or like it was, there's some big personality who says something about him, in the media or via social media. Mm-hmm. It's like, wow, was that the first time you'd watched Ja Morant? And I think that's going to continue all year because, in my bubble, I've been watching him since the preseason and sort of forecasting and talking about some of the electrifying plays that he made. But every night that he plays, there's somebody else with influence who says something positive about him and about these Grizzlies. And I don't think you can overstate the importance of that enough with where this franchise is right now.
David, I love what you guys are doing, guys and gals and hardworking people are doing, journalists are doing at the Commercial Appeal. I want to make one suggestion. I think we already need kind of a Rookie of the Year tracker with like night in, night out, him compared to Tyler Hero and other rookies that are, I think, already in contention. I think we can have that sidebar box going. I know if we had the old style paper, we'd pick it up and it'd be on the left side.
Oh yeah, well that's a good idea. I think he's got to be the leader. I think Zion almost got too much ground to make up already. So I'm with you. I think he deserves to have that sort of coverage. That's how good he is.
I think Zion's getting into the race a little too late. He's the Michael Bloomberg of the Rookie of the Year candidacy. Might be a little too late for him. David, have a great Thanksgiving to you and yours, and be safe in your travels and covering the Grizzlies. Thank you.
Thanks, Steph.
You got it. David Cobb joining us every Monday to talk Grizzlies. Rookie of the Year so far, Ja Morant. Tyler Herro, my pick to be the Rookie of the Year. He's having a good to great year with a good to great team. But is a winning quotient that involved in Rookie of the Year, or is it just stat line?
I think it's just stat line. Now,
not like the Heisman,
not like Heisman, not like even MVP of
MVP
in the NBA.
So I can come in last without you.
Yeah, exactly. I think Rookie of the Year, it's more of
it's kind of hope.
Stat line and who is going to be the next superstar going forward. Who's going to be the guy that separates himself from the rest of his draft class?
I think he's going to be the biggest star that's ever worn a Memphis Grizzlies uniform, even with his teammate Jaren Jackson, bigger than him. I think in several years, kind of the growing the awareness of Ja Morant, you will see out of town games one of these days that there are a lot of Ja jerseys at those games.
Yeah, and you want that. You hope that's the case, that to where it's not just happening at your home court, but you're continuing to grow your fan base throughout the world, and you get the Ja Morant only fans like there are with LeBron, Kyrie, and Kawhi.
Big Lakers crowd Saturday night. You knew
yes,
it was. They showed up. That's fine. How many LeBron jerseys everywhere?
I'd say at least 5,000.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Any Miami Heat, Cleveland Cavalier jerseys?
Saw an All-Star jersey.
Okay.
Think I saw one or two Cleveland. Didn't see any Miami, though. I guess they've retired the number 6.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not any?
No, I can't recall seeing the Miami one, but I do definitely remember the All-Star one because it stood out.
Lakers come back when? Next time he comes through town, I can't find it. When do the Lakers come back to town? Why'd I ask a question I didn't know the answer? On Leap Day. How about that oddity? On February 29th. They come back on Saturday, February 29th. Lakers' second and last trip to Memphis that night. That could be maintenance time, couldn't it? That could be prime rest time for LeBron that night. I don't play on Leap Day. I can hear him saying it now.
I can too. If I only play on 365 days a year, not 366.
You ever known anybody born on Leap Day?
I don't personally know it, but I've met people that have friends who were born on a Leap Day, and they celebrated on the regular day. So technically, like if you're born
every 4 years,
yeah, technically you'd be like 5, but you're 20. It's kind of weird.
You can't be counting it like that, can you?
I mean, you technically could, I guess.
When would you celebrate? The 28th or March 1st? February 28th or March 1st in the year that it didn't fall?
I'd probably go 28th.
I would too, because you'd be one day closer to retirement.
Exactly.
If you're counting those days down. But
that's
who
exactly
is doing that?
I think all of us.
Every time I see a report about Social Security, on the first day I want to get the check, that's when it's going to be broke. Yeah, so I'm not counting on it. I'm going to go to they tote me out of here. Williams Equipment Supply wishes you a happy Thanksgiving, happy holiday season. They're the #1 company for compact construction equipment in the Mid-South. Homegrown, locally owned. They've represented the Bobcat Company for 50 years. Bobcat Company, the industry leader in compact loaders and excavators, support American manufacturing, buy, lease, or rent Bobcat equipment. Williams Equipment Supply with the largest compact equipment dealership in the Mid-South, with 9 great locations. Whether you buy, lease, or rent, let Williams Equipment help you out at a price you can afford. And contractors, with their staff of parts and service techs, contractors, you get your work done efficiently and, most importantly, profitably. Experience the pride Bobcat owners have of owning the #1 brand of compact equipment. For a demonstration or more details, call Cody Bumpus, your North Mississippi Bobcat specialist. Cody sells 901-508-8739. And in Memphis, call Sam Watson. Sam's the Memphis area Bobcat specialist. Give Sam a call at 901-326-6429. Williams Equipment Supply with 9 great Mid-South locations. When we come back, we talk college football with John Thompson heading into rivalry week out of last weekend and cream puff week for the SEC, that disgraceful schedule and all those empty seats. One decent thing about that weekend. If it's the case where somebody that can't normally go, can't get a ticket, a little costly for them, I can see them getting to go to those games. Don't play them the week before the end of the year. If you're going to do that, let's just go back to 11 games, because a lot of places, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you if you didn't go. A lot of people didn't go to Ole Miss and Southeast Louisiana. People do not want those games. No more FCS and SEC's not doing it out of the goodness of their heart to help build football and give them budget money. They're not doing it for that reason whatsoever. Those games should not be played. Go to 9 conference games and get rid of those games. When we come back, we'll talk with John Thompson on college football. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats and Drew Barrett on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find Real Sports Talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
I'm here with Robert Cox, kitchen manager of the Rendezvous Restaurant. Tell us about those great ribs at the Rendezvous.
Rendezvous stands alone in a unique barbecue style, only found in Memphis, Tennessee. We don't smoke our ribs, we char-broil them. The guys cooking our ribs have been doing it for 30 years. Mr. Charlie Virgos taught the guys the technique himself, and still to this day, they teach newcomers that come in the door. After our ribs come out the pit, we pre-cut every order, so you easily can tear them apart. We based our ribs on a plate and sprinkle our seasoning all over them.
So Robert, are ribs what everyone comes to the Rendezvous for?
The beef brisket is now our second best seller behind the ribs. We also have lamb riblets, half chicken, pork shoulder, chopped chicken, cheese and sausage plate. Nachos are fantastic. We also carry a Greek salad. The list goes on.
Robert, where can we find out more about all of these great options?
Our restaurant menu is online at hogsfly.com, and recently we just added our catering menu online.
Mr. Charlie Virgos' Rendezvous Restaurant, a family-owned restaurant in downtown Memphis, in the alley since 1948.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know: Ben Swinger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 125 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Ben Swinger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Ben Swinger Glass in Midtown, located at 340 South Hollywood, across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit their website, benswingerglass.com. Ben Swinger Glass.
Your nationally ranked Memphis Tigers football team is back home on the Friday after Thanksgiving against rivals Cincinnati. This is our city, our team, and our stadium. We showed the world what Memphis can do when we all stand together. And now it is time to do it again. Tickets start at just $20 and are available now at GoTigersGo.com or by calling 901-678-2331. It is Memphis Tigers football versus Cincinnati on the Friday after Thanksgiving. Sponsored by Sedgwick.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Join Sports 56 middays this Wednesday from 10 to 3 at Top Gun, formerly Range USA in Bartlett. Top Gun at 2770 Whitten Road wants you to come out to the largest gun range in the Mid-South and shoot for free. While Sports 56 is there, you can stop by for a free range pass that you can use anytime. Chow down on some amazing barbecue and smoked queso from Ferguson's Barbecue. Tons of specials on guns, ammo, and memberships just in time for Black Friday. And we'll have 2 pair of Memphis Cincinnati tickets up for grabs. This Wednesday, 10 to 3 at Top Gun in Bartlett with Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Country music star Scotty McCreery will be at this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and you want to be there too. This is it. This is now. The American Idol winner will perform at the President's Gala on December 30th at the Peabody and at halftime of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game on December 31st. Get your tickets today by calling 795-7700. The Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Dave will be back with us next Monday between the basketball duties and the football duties. Needed a day away today and heads to New York tomorrow, and then on Wednesday they're in New York, and on Thursday play North Carolina State in Brooklyn. I keep saying New York. They play the game in Brooklyn. I think Ole Miss and Memphis will share the same team hotel in Brooklyn on this trip after having just played. I know a ton of respect by both coaches. You could feel it. You could hear it from both of them. I think it was very sincere from Coach Kermit Davis Jr. and from Coach Penny Hardaway Saturday about that series, that rivalry. Is it? I guess it is, yeah.
I say it is.
Yeah, and you know, very, very one-sided, now 27-14 all-time for the Tigers in that. And
although I
atmosphere
did learn a very good tidbit from Professor Matt Dillon on the pregame show. Ole Miss has it now set at 28 wins for the Tigers because they go back to a 1914 matchup against a independent law school that called itself the University of Memphis, and Ole Miss has that as a Memphis win against Ole Miss, and of course Memphis was West Tennessee Normal College at the time.
I love Matt Dillon. I love that segment, and it inspired me to do this date in Ole Miss football history on our pregame. And I told Matt, I said, not copying. It's totally out of respect to you and totally out of respect to our next guest to talk college football. He's been with us all year. We're right here at the last week of the regular season, but still a lot of college football left to talk about with our guest, John Thompson, who's been in a lot of these rivalry games this week. And, Johnny, I want to start with the hometown team, the Memphis Tigers. And I referred to it on Friday going into the game against South Florida, and it really builds and builds and builds. This is very important for Mike Norvell and his staff to keep their guys loose because it's a lot of pressure on 19, 20, and 21-year-olds and a lot of pressure on those coaches because the Tigers are playing for the biggest stakes ever.
Yeah, no doubt. Two 10-1 teams.
Yeah.
I mean, no question. And then if they win, they got to come back and play again. But yeah, that's it's a new situation for Memphis, and being able to do that and know that, okay, not only winning this week, but you got to turn around and play them again, in another week. So but the way Memphis is running the football right now, Brett, that's going to be the key to me. The key to the game is going to be Memphis's running game because Cincy's got a good secondary, but I mean they ran for over 300 yards last week, and you do that, and you got a guy that throws for 5 touchdowns. You're pretty balanced. So I like the Tigers' chances in here, but you said it, 20-year-olds and understanding all the pressure or getting sidetracked, it can go in either direction.
And especially this week because class is different. The whole give and take around the building's different. Some of them may be thinking, it's the first time I've ever been away from my mom and my dad or my aunt or my brothers and sisters ever at a holiday. How do you keep them loose? How do you keep them in a good, fun routine?
Well, it's different. It's really different on weeks like this. And when school's out, you have the time. You do different things with them. The meetings are somewhat more relaxed because you have more time. You spend more time with them. You have more meals with them, but players generally understand that. They like what's going on, but it's a totally different different situation. And I know we'll talk about it in a little bit. I think the really tough situation is Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Mississippi State coming off a game, and Ole Miss coming off an open date.
Mm-hmm. And
it's just having them, around and playing for something big. Thanksgiving weekend is what you want out of a college football.
You've been involved in a lot of great rivalries, and this week in college football, and this particular Saturday, I said earlier, it's my favorite Saturday of the sports calendar year. All the rivalries, all the emotion. I mean, it's what it determines the next year for a lot of bragging rights. You've been involved in the Iron Bowl. I know it's a little different on campus, and some will argue, and I get tired of them, that it's not really the Iron Bowl if it's not played in Birmingham. It's the Iron Bowl this year. It's on the plains, and it's different motivations for both groups.
Absolutely, yeah. I was fortunate enough to, when the Iron Bowl was really the Iron Bowl, we played it in Birmingham, and it is different. South Carolina and Clemson, Florida State, Arkansas, Texas, and Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Now that's a true Egg Bowl.
Oh yeah.
The rest of those, playing on campus were different, but Alabama doing that, yeah, this is a different, a whole different game where Alabama just kind of holding on. It's almost like a beauty contest. They got to play well. They've got to play very, very well. Jones has got to play well. He's got to get the ball down the field, and Auburn doesn't let him do that. They don't let him set his feet, and that's where the really difference in Alabama's offense between Tua and Jones at quarterback, because Jones has got to get back there and get set, and Auburn's defensive front doesn't let you do that. And now then Auburn's got to turn around and run the football. I just wonder, how much pressure on these young quarterbacks. We both got. I mean, Jones is not near as young, as the Auburn quarterback now, but there's going to be pressure on Nix and Jones as they fight in this Iron Bowl.
I saw a funny Alabama tweet, and that was from a very, very, very pro-Alabama person, but the tweet Saturday said, Alabama has never lost a game that Mac Jones has taken snaps in.
Well, there you go. That's what you put your money on.
He's going to take them Saturday, and it's going to be some atmosphere down on the plains. I'm headed that way after Egg Bowl on Thursday night. You participated in a very controversial Egg Bowl one Friday after Thanksgiving. That was an afternoon game in 2007, and Ed Orgeron had he rolled the dice, and they didn't come up his way that day, but it has worked out for him. Johnny, I caught you driving home on the buzz in Little Rock last week, and I heard you say that you've had some conversations with Ed Orgeron that you have known since he was a teenager, and you got to give him credit. I do it. I don't even do it reluctantly. It's not grudgingly. Congratulations to Ed Orgeron for developing as a head coach and being at a wheelhouse place and getting the best out of his, as he would say, Tigers.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, he's really grown up and developed, and you got to give him that. I mean, whether you like him, you don't like him, and I do like him. I've known the guy. He played for me, back in the early 80s, and then you referred to the game in 07, and I can remember it very well. And I mean, him on the headset saying, "Hey, JT, get the defense ready. I'm going for it," and we didn't make it, and they go down and score. We go 3 and out. They run the punt back. Then they kick the field goal as time runs out. That's the loudest stadium I have ever heard in this. I've been in every stadium in the SEC, but that day at that time at the end when they stopped us on the 4th and 1 and then ran back the punt, that's the loudest of any SEC stadium that I have ever been in. And it just, the passion and all the things that go into this Egg Bowl is going to be amazing. It's going to be a great game. I mean, but going back to that, and I know TV has a lot to do with it, and I don't know all the ins and outs. But when you look at it, with Mississippi State playing on Saturday, and then turning around and then playing again on Thursday, and Ole Miss having the open date, that's a big advantage to Ole Miss.
I think
because
so.
of the planning.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm sure it's not in terms of planning. I mean, let's be real. That Mississippi State did not start game planning this past Sunday for Ole Miss. There was a lot of that was going into, but the rest of the rest. I'm not talking about the access. I'm talking about the rest of the players after a game coming up on Thursday. That was the key.
It is
in playing all the Thursday night games that I was involved in. It took us a while to learn that we made mistakes early that you come back on Saturday, get them in there Sunday, and try to do some work. But they've got to recuperate, and that's going to be the big difference. If Mississippi State can get that and get that recuperation before Thursday, Ole Miss will have that. So I think it's a lot because it's going to be a slugfest out of the gate, man.
It will.
This game is going to be a slugfest.
And I love the Egg Bowl, and I had some people, and there's been some less than flattering things that have been said and happened the last few years. Last year had the incident on the field, and I didn't think they were going to get it broken up. And we've had pregame stuff, but by and large, there's some things I would change, but mostly I like my Egg Bowl just like it is.
Yeah, I get it, and it's that is probably the most passionate game. Like I talked about that I've been in a lot of those. That's the most passionate one that really. And now, I mean, you're either Alabama or Auburn. It doesn't matter. And the same thing, Ole Miss and Mississippi State. But the emotions that come up, and I saw where Matt Luke said, he's got to control those emotions, and you really have to, and especially the way this game. I think the start of this game, the first 5 minutes is really going to. And Lou Holtz used to say that all the time. The first 5 minutes of each half, but I think really coming out of the gate in this game with the tempo of both offenses and where they are. I think that's going to be a big situation, and then let's see who rolls the dice and throws out some trickery against them. I think you could see some different things. Rich Rod could do some things, and I think maybe Moorhead now understands a little bit about this game. It takes you a while, but I think he understands that also.
One for sure rival game, Clemson and South Carolina, although the margin's pretty big historically. It's mostly Clemson, but that's a big game in Columbia. And then another rival, air quotes here, that I think the league is trying to make with A&M and LSU, and off of 7 overtimes last year in the wild game that A&M kind of stole from LSU last year. I thought it was some very shaky calls. If Ed Orgeron in Baton Rouge and Dabo Swinney in Columbia, if they get a chance to really roll it up in this rival game, I think they will.
I do too. I think you saw how his jaw was set after the Arkansas game. He was not happy at all with the onside kick and the way they played. And I was surprised, and I guess it was a plan going into the game. They kept a lot of defensive starters in the game against Arkansas.
Did. I was wondering why.
A walk-on quarterback goes in there and takes it down the field. And so I'm sure there's been we want to talk about passion. I'm sure that our poor Bay Orgeron has had some passion yesterday and today with that team just to keep them focused. But that would be a coach's delight to be able to come off a game like that and really get them grinding for A&M, because A&M is doing some good things. Kellen Mond is one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC, maybe the best quarterback that they'll see all year long. Besides Tua, he'll be the best quarterback that LSU will see. So let's see what happens in that one. But LSU is doing too many good things.
Yeah. Last thing, John. What's the best team you've seen this year? Just the OI test.
LSU is the best team, just because of the way Burrow is playing. No question, and the athletes that they have on defense. But my goodness, Ohio State is awfully impressive. Everything that they do, and Chase Young is amazing. He is an amazing football player. The explosiveness coming off the line of scrimmage and how he can change the game. Now, Joe Burrow may be if I'm drafting, if I'm taking a team, I'm probably going to take Joe Burrow first, but it wouldn't bother me. I wouldn't feel bad if I got the next pick and took Chase Young as a defensive end.
It wouldn't hurt my feelings either, because if you don't have a quarterback, you got to have somebody get after a quarterback.
No question about it. No question about it. But I think Ohio State right now is playing the most complete football, but man, everybody is just Clemson is getting no respect. Nobody's talking about Clemson, and they're good all the way around.
They're under the radar.
Everywhere.
How did he drive that Roy bus?
Floating around.
He drove that Roy bus. Dabo drove that Roy bus right under the radar. How did he do that?
Exactly.
He wanted to, too.
Exactly. So he's sitting in a great position, and you just take care of business the whole time. I tell you what, that 4 spot's going to be interesting. It's really, really going to be interesting, and I got to go with the Oklahoma Sooners coming in there, going to sneak in. Clemson, LSU, Ohio State, and OU.
We got a great.
That's just what I'm saying. Now, I know you don't take notes because you remember everything. Dave takes the notes on all of that. So
we got a great text at 67129 at the First Bank text line. The texter says, "What you two Arkansas boys think about the Lindsey kid getting some run against LSU?" I'll tell you, I'll give my answer first, John. I was thinking just how darn old I am, because that was Lindy's son and Jim Lindsey from Caldwell, Arkansas's grandson, and that made me feel old. But also when he completed the pass to John David White, whose dad is David White and whose uncle is John Ray White, and friends of mine. I'm watching that game and seeing all these grandkids and sons and stuff running around, and I'm thinking, man, I've gotten old. What were you thinking?
I know it. No, we're not old, man. That's just a number. We're not old. We've just been around for a long time.
That's
the difference.
But it was fun to see those guys in. I thought
it really wasn't a guy. Hey, Lindsey go in there.
Jack moved the team
and played so comfortably.
He did.
I mean, it looked good, man. I think that Barry Lunny has done a great job. I hope there is a crowd in War Memorial on Saturday. On Friday. Yeah. I really, really hope there is. I have no idea. He's doing the right things. He's done a great job in the 2 weeks that he's had it, and I hope that the Arkansas faithful, if they want a program, then they'll show up in War Memorial on Friday. If they don't, then they got to take some of the blame for what's going on.
They do. John, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. We'll visit next Monday and have a little more clarity. Thank you, sir.
Man, appreciate it. Have a great Thanksgiving. And I apologize for the connection last week. I was trying to multitask. My wife had me doing one thing, and I was trying to talk on the other, so I can't multitask.
All good. Thank you, man.
Take care, man.
You got it. John Thompson talking college football with us. We'll take him any way we can get him every Monday, and it has been fun. We come back, we wrap up this hour with our Ghoul Style segment. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats and Drew Barrett on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
It's the holidays, people, and our guys at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch told me to say a big thank you to everyone driving All-Star Chevys, and to each of you wanting to buy a new Chevy to come to All-Star Chevy today. Test drive the Silverado, Traverse, the new Camaro. It's ABC simple. A, the All-Star Chevy Challenge to bring any written offer from any Mid-South Chevy dealer to All-Star so they can give you a better deal or buy you a tank of gas. B, better buying experience that's fast and fun for you. And C, customer care to take care of everything you need so all your future cars and trucks to be in the All-Star family. Because over 75% of All-Star customers are repeat buyers, and no other Mid-South Chevy dealer can say that. So find new roads to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Not South Haven, not the Pike, not Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. So go to allstarautogroup.com and find the Chevy you want. If you don't see it there, they can get it for you fast. allstarautogroup.com.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. If you need a roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and we will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. We have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for many years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies' new look, the Redbirds, the 901 FC, and the Tigers football and basketball teams, it's going to be a fun year. Thank you to Coach Norvell, Coach Hardaway, and their staffs for your dedication to your student athletes, the University of Memphis, and to fans like me who have waited forever to have both the football and basketball teams ranked at the same time. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking, no telephone pole to get in your way, a cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
New Life Medical Center has moved to a new, larger location that allows them to better serve their patients. I go to New Life Medical Center for testosterone replacement therapy, which is one of many things they do. They also treat erectile dysfunction and can relieve the pain of joint injuries with stem cell and platelet-rich plasma treatments. They also take care of patients with diabetes, high blood pressure, sick visits, and much more with no appointment necessary and minimal wait times. New Life Medical Center is now at 9160 Highway 64. That's just off I-40. Stop in and see what they can do for you.
Kevin Harlan and Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner here from Westwood One with a preview of Monday Night Football. Coming up from the historic LA Memorial Coliseum, Kurt, a very intriguing matchup. The Ravens at the Rams.
And a great matchup on both sides. The Rams offense has been struggling against this Ravens defense. That's going to be a great matchup. But let's be honest here. What everybody wants to see is Aaron Donald and company against Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson has been an unstoppable force at this point. Their ability to run the football downhill with power. Will it give the Rams trouble? And then if it does, can Lamar Jackson light it up through the air again?
All right, Kurt, looking forward to it. Join us for the Ravens in Los Angeles against the Rams on Monday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Ready to kiss that pesky check engine light goodbye? At AutoZone, we've got the free services to help you get it done. Like our free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll give you the code you need to know and help you troubleshoot the likely issue, all free of charge. Your light could indicate a variety of issues from, oh no, to, phew. No matter the cause, our free Fix Finder service can help you drive with more peace of mind. You can do this. Stop in today to learn more about how to get started. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Right now at the Home Depot, 'tis better to give and receive. Buy a Ryobi One Plus battery kit for just $129 and receive a select Ryobi One Plus tool free. Your choice from cordless drills to saws, even a radio. That'll make one powerful gift come Christmas morning. Actually, 2 powerful gifts. Buy a battery kit, get a tool for free. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through December 26th. Items must be scanned at checkout to apply while supplies last.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Final segment for this second hour. We start hour number 3 with Barrett Jones. We'll get a good scouting report on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Penn State played them tough. I love that Penn State defense. And I love the overall job that James Franklin's done at Penn State. It's been really, really close. But it's time for our Ghouls Style segment. We do it every Monday at this time. There's a Ghouls location, I promise you, really close to you. One's never far away. From downtown to out east to Park Place, where the Ghouls Academy is located, one in Olive Branch, and part of the Renaissance Overton Square. Have you been through the square yet? All the holiday decorations, mostly up, looks great on Overton Square and looks great outside of every Ghouls. Massage, body treatments, facials, or just a haircut. Superior spa services and salon services, and a very well-earned reputation built over 87 years, getting close to 88. Started in 1932 when Mr. Sam Gould opened a barbershop and a powerhouse was born, an institution, part of the fabric of Memphis, born then and continues today as a family atmosphere, as a family business. Still upscale ambiance, superior customer service, 450 Ghouls employees to serve your every need. All the great locations, and this time of year, the best holiday gift is the Ghouls gift card. It's the gift you cannot go wrong with for anniversaries, birthdays, weddings, holidays. Make someone feel so special with that Ghouls gift card. Follow them on Twitter at Ghouls Salons or their website, ghoulsalons.com. Ghouls, it makes the perfect gift for that. Ghouls gift card makes the perfect gift for that someone special. I know this isn't going to be popular, but my style is the 4-team playoff. I'm going to love it when it goes to 8. It's going to 8 sooner rather than later. I'll be for it. I'll love it then. But I would rather err on leaving 1 or 2 good teams out instead of having 1 or 2 not really deserving in someday. Less, a little more. I know we're going to 8. I'm going to enjoy it when we get there. And as soon as we get to 8, we're going to be talking about expanding that then. We might go to 6 before we go to 8 and have
I'd prefer 6. Let's just have the buys. Go the NFL model.
And I know I differ with my beloved friend and co-host, Dave Wolo. When we go to 8, I want it to be the 8 best teams. And I really believe if the Tigers take care of business against Cincinnati and against Cincinnati again, that if it were 8, they would be among that. They would be in Central Florida for sure would have been.
Yeah, I mean, you beat Cincinnati this week, and then next week, I'm going to say that they're still ranked because Cincinnati right now is 18th in the polls. That's 4 top 25 wins this year.
Yeah. Yeah, and with still a lot of football to be played, even though we're in that last week of the year, when there's not a lot of football to be played. Love the Ghoul Style segment every week. Again, follow them on Twitter at Ghoul Salons or their website, ghoulsalons.com. We come back, third and final hour begins with Barrett Jones talking college football. You're listening to Fishing Stats. I'm sorry I did it, didn't I? What a find. How did I do that? You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
The Man Cave sales happening now at Family Leisure. 3-piece theater seating sets, only $9.99. Massage chairs, starting at $6.99. Pool tables, now at $14.99. And shuffleboard tables, well, they start at $19.99. Still need to close your pool down? Call Family Leisure to get on the schedule. Mention this ad, $20 off. Complete your Man Cave today at Family Leisure. Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. With a family coming home for the holidays, are you going to be running out of hot water? Not with a tankless water heater from Conway Services. It may be time for a tankless water heater that never runs out of hot water. Conway Services is making now the perfect time to replace that old energy-guzzling tanked water heater with 24 months to pay, interest-free. Or I'll give you $250 for that old tanked water heater. These energy-saving models only heat the water you use, saving you money on your gas bill every month. Plus, no more worrying about that tank bursting in your attic either. And you know with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier tankless water heater professionals at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old water heater will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main downtown has all your game day needs with 30 TVs. If your game is not on one of the 20 big screens, then sit in a booth with your own remote. The Vault has game day specials on pitchers, buckets of beer, and great food, which is the best thing about the Vault. This is not your normal sports bar. Chef Dirk Meitzler from On Tour and Cafe 621 has all his favorites like Chicken Newport and his new lobster enchilada. Open for lunch and dinner every day with lunch specials for $12 weekdays with a drink. The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main, your downtown place to eat, drink, and watch the game.
Hi, folks. The Chevy Sheriff for Sunrise Chevy. The Sunrise Chevy Ranch has over 500 new vehicles to choose from with interest low as 0% and rebates up to $12,000. A $5 million used car inventory specializing in late model GM certified cars and trucks under $10,000. Bad credit, bankrupt, slow pay, it's okay. Sunrise gets you financed when no one else can. Check out the inventory and apply online at sunrisememphis.com or call. Come in and see us, go online, call. Any way you do it, we'll save you money at the Sunrise Chevy Ranch, partner. 385 in Houston Levy and Collierville. Find new roads.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
Country music star Scotty McCreery will be at this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and you want to be there too.
This is it. This is now.
The American Idol winner will perform at the President's Gala on December 30th at the Peabody and at halftime of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game on December 31st. Get your tickets today by calling 795-7700. The Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Barrett Jones to talk college football next after I tell you about DeSoto Auto Sales. The sponsor of this hour, all the cars test driven at DeSoto Auto Sales, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make, every model. If it's not on the lot, they'll go out and find it for you. At DeSoto Auto Sales, no shortcuts taken. You walk in and you're treated like family by kind, courteous employees, down-home, laid-back environment, no high-pressure sales. They care about your time and want you to have the ultimate car experience. That means when you walk in, test drive your car, credit approved, paperwork done, you're gone in 45 minutes. We're living in a world today that time matters. They know that at DeSoto Auto Sales. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area. DeSotoAutoSales.com, 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience on Goodman Road at DeSoto Auto Sales. It's getting down to the last week of the year of college football, a lot to be decided. Barrett Jones was in Columbus on Saturday, part of the national ESPN radio broadcast team, doing the Ohio State-Penn State game. And, Barrett, let's start there. Good afternoon. Happy Thanksgiving to you first.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Doing very well. You've seen Ohio State now twice in person?
That's correct, yep.
Were they better the second time? Did you see week over week team improvement the second time over the first time?
Well, I think they're certainly much better. I mean, the first time they played Michigan State, and that was not really a fair fight. As we've now seen Michigan State, it's not very good. I'm really impressed with them. I think they're a really, really good team. I mean, look at I really can't remember, Brett, and you're a stats guy. I think that they even call you stats. So you'll appreciate this. This late in the year, where there was a team that was number one in total offense and total defense.
That's right.
That's pretty incredible.
And
if you think about, scoring offense and scoring defense.
And
that's pretty wild.
And these margins of victory, I mean, they are bulldozing some people. And look, you can pick at some of the lesser part of the schedule, but the heavier part of the schedule, they've done that as well. I think it's the best team. I haven't seen them in person like you have, but I think it's the best team just watching on television and keeping up with it. And they have multiple Heisman Trophy candidates. The Chase Young is definitely one.
Well, they're very good. I mean, they really are. And I think the game really wasn't as close even as the score dictated, honestly. I mean, if you didn't watch the game, Justin Fields fumbled it on the 1 yard line going in
early,
which kind of made it a closer game. And Chase Young is so dominant. I mean, he is unbelievable. He's unblockable, and I don't say that lightly. I mean, you can't block him with just one guy. You have to account for him on every single third down. I will say one thing. If I have one reservation about Ohio State, it's just that I did think that by this time of the year, the downfield passing game will be a little bit better. Penn State's secondary is very average. I mean, their front seven's very good, but their secondary is kind of been what's lagged all season, and they were not able to capitalize. Now, look, it was raining, it was cold. I get that, but here's the thing, Brett, and here's the question I have: is will it even matter? Because Penn State was only allowing 75 yards a game on the ground, and the first drive of the game, Ohio State got the football, or excuse me, actually they kicked it off at Penn State. Penn State, I think they got one first down, went 6 and out, punted it, and Penn State got the ball. Ohio State got the ball at the 9 yard line. They went on a 91-yard drive with it was 13 plays, 12 runs, 1 pass, and the pass was incomplete. So all 91 yards on the ground, just right down Penn State's throat. They really made a statement. That first drive said, look, we don't really care if you're one of the best rush defenses in the country. We don't care if you're top in the Big Ten. You're only allowed 75 yards a game. We're going to run it right down your throat, and we're more physical than you. So while I'm a little concerned because I don't think they have a great downfield passing attack, I'm just not sure it's going to matter because there are so many weapons running the football.
And Ryan Day in his first year and Justin Fields in his first year, what outstanding years they've had. And for offensive linemen, I know you love that kind of drive. When you go back to the huddle, there was not a huddle anymore, but when you go back and get set up for the next down, you know and they know you can't stop us.
There's no doubt. I mean, that's the best feeling in sports. There really is. And that other line really has come a long way from last season until now. I'm really impressed when they have a right guard, Wyatt Davis, who's an excellent player, and they're just a lot of fun to watch. And, man, it's just so hard to defend when you have a guy like J.K. Dobbins and Justin Fields in that backfield. I mean, there were a lot of times where Penn State played a read play absolutely perfectly. I mean, they had a guy accounted for the quarterback. They had a guy accounted for the running back. And Justin Fields pulled the football, and it didn't matter. Because you know what? It doesn't matter if you have him accounted for if you can't tackle him. And there were several times where, even though they accounted for him, it was Justin Fields and somebody else in space, and he made a miss to pick up some big yardage. So that makes it really hard when you play assignment football perfectly and you still can't stop them because the athletes are just too good when they get that ball in that much space.
What's your schedule like this week? What games will you broadcast?
Yeah, I've got a busy schedule coming up the next 2 weeks. This week I'll have Texas Tech and Texas on Friday, LSU A&M on Saturday, and then the week after that I have the Pac-12 championship on Friday, Red Eye to Charlotte, and the ACC championship on Saturday.
Oh, what a great 2 weeks. And you will see a lot of games, and you already have, that will directly impact the college football playoff, the 4 teams that will be in it. Now, a lot of intrigue, be a lot of SEC watchers and listeners that Friday night when you're doing the Pac-12 championship game. That will be a Friday night, as you said, and it will be Oregon and Utah will never have so many people rooting against them. There'll be a lot of people will be Ducks that Friday night.
There's no doubt. There was a saying in Alabama, I think it was in 2010, roll Ducks, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that were saying the same thing. Back when that was, by the way, that was when Auburn was in the national championship. That's why people were rooting for Oregon. There'll be a lot of people that are doing the same thing, rooting for Oregon because they need them to beat Utah. And look, by the way, I have no idea. I don't think really anyone does exactly how it'll all play out. Let's just say Utah does win. You know, are they a lock to get in over Alabama and Oklahoma? I don't know. I mean, it's really unclear at this point because Utah, I don't think they've beaten a ranked team all season. So it's kind of unclear what the committee's going to do. And, you know, Oklahoma to me is a big mystery. I mean, they've really just looked kind of sloppy the last few weeks and just hung on in a bunch of games where, especially the 2 against Iowa State and this past week against TCU, where they hung on kind of against inferior opponents. And obviously we're down big at Baylor and before they had to come back. So they haven't looked like a dominant team necessarily. So, look, I don't know what's going to happen. I think I've said this all since it happened, since the Tua injury happened. I don't think Alabama's out of it. I think the Oregon loss only helps them. And I think they're still very much in it. I think if they have a dominant performance against Auburn, it would not shock me if they still find a way in the playoffs.
Wouldn't me either. Wouldn't shock me whatsoever. And the Utah, probably their best win of the year, they lost to USC. They're not very good, but the committee loves them. I don't know why, but the committee loves SC. But probably their best win was a 5-point road win at Washington. Washington 6-5. I know the Alabama schedule has taken a lot of criticism. That win over Western Carolina, you would think that's the only game they've played this year, hearing some national commentariat about it. I don't get that, but that they like to talk about that game. I wish the SEC would get out of those FCS games totally, and especially the week before rivalry week. Barrett, I want you, if you can, take our listeners inside what Coach Saban is like. Iron Bowl week this year on the plains, out of town. Most everybody out of town. You've told us before that Tuscaloosa, really very quiet. You can really concentrate on the game. Not as much pressure for school and people around. But what is Coach Saban like Iron Bowl week?
Well, I think he's much the same in a lot of ways. I mean, he's very focused, very intense, watching a lot of tape. But I would say generally in these big weeks, he's probably a little more calm, which I know that sounds weird, but the games where he really gets after people are honestly more like the Western Carolina games, those type of games where he feels like he needs to get the team jacked up and focused and practicing well and continuing to grow and improve. Whereas when it comes down to the Auburn game, the LSU game, he's a little more calm in practice. He doesn't really feel like he needs to yell and get guys revved up because everyone's already so revved up and flying around the football. So it's always a lot of fun, and he's played in so many big games now that I don't really think he feels nervous. He just goes out there and coaches like he always has, and make sure the guys are executing properly in practice.
And usually the Alabama drill is to bus to Montgomery, stay there. What a lot of people don't know, and I don't know if it's quite the same because I think Auburn has moved, but a lot of years the Alabama hotel literally across the street from the Auburn team hotel in Montgomery, and then into Jordan-Hare on Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember those days where I want to say, I can't remember, a few years we might have flown to Montgomery and then driven back or something. I can't remember exactly how we did it, but we never spared any expense when it came to wasting some plane mileage. Our most famous one was one time, I think we were playing Mississippi State. We flew to Columbus. Still am a little shocked that it actually happened. But so I don't know exactly what they do. They might fly, they might drive, but they'll find their way down there, and it's you got a short drive in the next morning to the stadium, and it's just always a great atmosphere and a lot of fun to play in that stadium. I've told you before, Brett, I love hostile environments. I think it's always fun when you have a hostile environment. People hating on you, yelling at you. That's a blast to me.
And that series and that rivalry, it has it in that narrow little chute out of the visitors' locker room at Auburn. Man, it almost feels like it's single file. You couldn't get two guys shoulder to shoulder to go down through there and to run out on that field. It is the I think the best rivalry in the SEC and in all of college football. I haven't been to them all, but it's certainly very good. Barrett, I was talking before the break about the college football playoffs. College football is in probably one of the best shapes it's ever been in. The viewership, record viewership this year. And I know a lot of people want 8 teams. It's going to go to 8, and when it goes to 8, I'm going to enjoy it. But I'm more on keep it at 4. I'm going to lose that because I would rather leave 1 or 2 good teams out than have 1 or 2 teams at 7 and 8 that really don't belong.
Well, I've still never really seen a year where, in my opinion, we've had more than 4 really good teams. Now, I'm sure I could go back and look, and maybe there is a year. But, I mean, for example, this year, honestly, I feel like there are 3 really good teams. I mean, I still don't know. Like, make the case for me who really is the 4th best team right now. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, I hear people say Georgia, but then I watch some tape of them and I mean, they have a great defense, but you really think that offense is the 4th best team in the country? I just don't know. I mean, against A&M, they didn't look that impressive to me. Is it Alabama? I'm not ready to say that with Mac Jones. Is it Utah? They haven't really played anybody. Is it Oklahoma? They've had some narrow wins over some average teams. So I think that, Brett, it's going to be enormous whoever gets that 1 seed, particularly if it's down to LSU and Ohio State. because I tell you what, I would much rather play whoever the 4 seed is versus playing Clemson in that first round. Because to me, Clemson is, it's crazy to me how everyone's just sort of writing them off and saying, look, it's down to Ohio State and LSU. Clemson is a very, very talented football team that, frankly, I would want no part of if I had a choice in the playoff.
And we kind of checked out on Trevor Lawrence after that narrow escape at Chapel Hill against North Carolina. And really since then, he statistically, the touchdowns to interception ratio, it's been worthy of being in a Heisman candidacy. But we just kind of checked out on him about the 1st of October and hadn't checked back in with him.
Well, there's no doubt. We a lot of people sort of have their storylines fixed at a certain point. And look, some of it's deservedly so. And it's not really Clemson's fault because, they went out and scheduled 2 SEC teams to play in addition to their 9-game conference schedule. So it's hard to really fault them too much because obviously they somewhat saw this coming. But look, the conference is just so bad. There's just it's the ACC. Look, I don't have any stats on this, but it has to be one of the worst Power 5 conferences. I guess Clemson probably brings up the average a lot. Other than that, man, it's just a brutal team. I don't know what they're going to do in the Orange Bowl. That's the aside there, because normally it's the second best team in the ACC that plays in the Orange Bowl. Excuse me, the best team that's not in the playoff.
And
lately has been the second best team. So I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe if they're going to put Notre Dame in there or what. Because right now that would be like, Virginia Tech maybe or somebody like that who would make it to the Orange Bowl. So it's a sloppy conference this season.
And the decline of Miami. Mark Richt had the good first year and then not so good. And Manny Diaz, it started opening night against Florida, and it continued against FIU Saturday with one of the more embarrassing losses since they became the U as we know it for Miami to suffer.
Yeah, it was brutal. It really was. That was tough, and you hate to see that. And obviously there was a similar loss earlier this season that Tennessee suffered. But, man, and not to segue out of your question because I just thought of it, what a great job Jeremy Pruitt has done. Outstanding to think that, if this team lost those first 2 games and all was lost, and here they are sitting with an opportunity to go 7-5. Pretty incredible the way the guys stayed balled in. And, I think Manny Diaz will have a similar story. I really do. I think he's a great recruiter. He loves being down there. His dad was the mayor of Miami. He's a perfect fit to me. So I think he'll get it figured out. You just got to find a way to persevere through these tough times.
Yeah, and it was a hard job when he took it over from Mark Richt. I understand why Mark Richt took it on, but it was probably he probably had his best coaching years at Georgia, and Hart not completely in it. Manny Diaz, Hart will be in it. You mentioned Jeremy Pruitt. And it hadn't been against outstanding teams the last 2 wins for them against Kentucky on the road and Missouri on the road, but to gut those wins out and to come back from that embarrassment when they were manhandled opening day, the margin was much closer than how Georgia State really handled Tennessee, and then to lose in overtime week 2, people talking about him being fired, him being out. He's going to go to a bowl game, and he's going to go recruit, and he's going to get Tennessee back.
Well, you're exactly right. They have had a good, favorable spot in their schedule, but I think I think I never, want to fire coaches or say that coaches need to be fired. But to me, you're a little more justified making that move when you see a team quit on a coach, like you do sometimes. Mm-hmm. And that was the one thing I noticed about Tennessee. The guys never quit. They stayed, they were playing hard. They stayed intense throughout the whole thing, and they were in it. And it's incredible, especially you look back to that Florida game, the way they've kind of bounced back since then. It's very admirable, and I think they have a great staff, and they just got to get some players, man. Really, a big part of it's that young O-line. They're starting to play a little better. I think they could. There could be still a major upgrade at quarterback at some point if they can find a guy who can play back there. So, look, I'm a believer in Jeremy Pruitt. I don't think I ever wavered on this show of saying I think he's a good coach. There were some tough times, and I'm glad they decided not to make the change. And he's going to be carrying some momentum. And look, he told me this at the spring game this offseason is, man, he really wanted to find a way to make a bowl. Because more than anything, with these young guys, he wanted those 15 extra practices. And he's going to use every single one of them. So I know he's jacked up that he's going to get those extra practices and give those guys an opportunity to get some more experience moving into next season.
And Bear, way back when the process was first starting for Coach Saban, I know a lot of people talk about those Independence Bowl practices getting ready for Mizzou, that was part of the cornerstone, part of the foundation being laid for the process that that started these years of domination for Coach Saban at Alabama.
I've heard about those practices. I'm glad I wasn't there because they sound hard. But
they
yes,
did sound hard.
I have heard about them, and I don't think Coach Saban was too concerned with the Independence Bowl. I think he was a little more concerned with kind of launching off into the next season.
Yeah, and it's a good time for experimentation. Maybe try a guy at a different position, maybe different side of the ball at bowl practice.
No, there's no doubt. There's a lot of that goes on. You kind of go back to camp mode a little bit and get an opportunity to play some different guys in different spots and kind of see what you got. I think that's certainly a time to sort of build. It's really a mini season. That's how Coach Saban always approached it. Was sort of a miniature season.
Barrett, happy Thanksgiving to you and Katie and to the entire Jones family. And I'll be texting you with play-by-play description from the Iron Bowl Saturday on the Plains.
I can't wait. I hope you have a lot of fun down there and try to stay warm at the Egg Bowl.
I will. Thank you, Barrett. Best to you, and we'll talk next Monday.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Barrett Jones with us every Monday. He's played in that Iron Bowl, and he knows how big it is, and it's a great rivalry. And Saturday, I love going to games at Auburn. It'll be 2 in about 4 weeks for me. Love being down there with Ole Miss on November 2nd. That was a weekend of game day here. It is a really good feeling to be at a game at Auburn, one of my favorite places to go to a game down there 2 years ago, and Auburn pulled the big upset, and they could this week. That Auburn defense, people are maybe discounting just how good they are. And on the experience front, John Thompson touched on this. I know just a freshman compared to Mac Jones's class that he's the status of the class he's in. I think he's a junior, isn't he, for Alabama?
Yes, I believe so. He's a junior.
But the laps around the track, Bo Nix has more.
Yeah, plenty more.
And
more freshmen, yeah.
In more important games. To be thrown out there opening night against Oregon, and I'm already hearing people say that really kind of doesn't count for. Oh, yeah, it does. It was this year.
This year. It was a regular season game, first game of the year. Win's a win, and a loss is a loss. It counts just the same.
Guarantee you, if they had won, they'd be counting it.
Oh, yes, definitely.
And it's why, at this time of year, people kind of want to pick and choose. And at bowl time, whether it matters to you or not, if you lose, kind of discount it. But if you win, glorify it. I think it matters either way. And
I think at this point, throughout the regular season, especially with only a 12-game regular season, every game counts equally. It doesn't really matter win by 1 or win by 20. A win's a win. It should count the same.
That was a brutal loss for Oregon. Most of the night, Arizona State in control, got a little tight. Herm Edwards was trying to hang on with his freshman quarterback, and he was able to. And now it'll be Oregon and Utah in the Pac-12 championship game. I don't think Utah has any chance of losing to Colorado at home this Saturday, and Oregon's out. It doesn't matter if they win out. And by that point, if Oregon wins, and I tweeted this last year after they beat Washington, or Washington was the Pac-12 champion, it will essentially be SEC 5 beat the Pac-12 champ if Oregon wins. That's what they did last year in defeating Washington. That's just factual. That's not a shot. That is accurate.
Yeah, it's not a shot. It's just the stone cold truth that the SEC is just flat out better, and it's not just my opinion. You can go back 5-6 years and where they played, and it seems like the SEC always ends up being victorious.
And this week in Associated Press, 4 of the top 8 teams from the SEC: LSU 1, Georgia 4, Alabama 5, and Florida 8. Florida with their big state championship game against Florida State. Florida State's going to go bowling. It'll probably be at 6-6. And Florida, as we've talked about, a lot of the matchups for the Cotton Bowl, it could be the Memphis Tigers against Florida. That is not a game that I would be scared at all for the Tigers to enter into. I think there are places that they match up pretty well against Florida. I think they could move the ball on that Florida defense. Now, stopping them could be problematical.
It could, but I think the defense would be able to step up. Hopefully, we're talking about having 3 weeks off, 2 weeks off between to
really game plan,
3 weeks to really game plan to get healthy. And Adam Fuller has shown time and time again that he can make adjustments, and that he can not only make adjustments between games, but in-game adjustments to allow his defense to partially bend, but never ever to break. So I think Adam Fuller can do a great job with it.
First things first, Cincinnati Bearcats Friday afternoon at the Liberty Bowl. And that will be something. And then the very next Saturday for the same game, probably, for sure, right?
Well, if Memphis loses, then it'd be same game.
Memphis not losing. So then the next week it'd
be at the Liberty Bowl.
Yeah, against Cincinnati, and another big one in the run-up to Cotton Bowl. And I mentioned that's an early Saturday morning, 11 o'clock, December 29th game. The number of people from Memphis that would go to that game. How many fans do you think the Tigers would take? 30?
I'd say at least
35.
30.
Yeah,
at least 30, probably 35. I know I'm going to be one of them. So
I know when Ole Miss went in 2008, it was a big gathering in 2009, but in 2008, so hungry. The day I went like 6 or 7 days early. The day I went down, every car passed. You know, it was coming from this area, cars decorated, and then on the way back, it was just almost single file. And it'll be the same way for the Tigers and the fun that you would have going to that bowl game in Dallas. I know a big Tiger fan looking forward to that. That's Walker Taylor. And he's looking forward to this week at the Germantown Commissary or the Collierville Commissary. Either place, the new Collierville Commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the original in Germantown. You can have a lot of family and friends by all this week. It's not just for Thursday. And if you didn't order your 36-hour bird this round of holidays, you can for the next round at 754-5540. But you're going to need a lot of food around. Have some ribs ready. Have some shoulder ready for people coming in all week and into Friday watching all the games and getting ready to tailgate and go out to Tiger Lane on Friday afternoon for the Tigers in Cincinnati. It's Memphis-style barbecue and ribs, delicious and authentic. It says Memphis through and through. Begin your barbecue feast with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the barbecue nachos, the smoked chicken wings. They're fantastic. Don't forget about the Boss Man salad, the chicken plate, or the barbecue shrimp, the wonderful hot tamales, all dressed with chili, cheese, and fresh onions, and the great desserts, the best lemon icebox pie I've had anywhere, and the terrific banana pudding. 754-5540, online at commissarybbq.com in Collierville and Germantown, and great party areas. You can order it to go. You can get it for catering, tailgating, and it's still time. Well, it was about an hour ago for the cutoff for the Thanksgiving 36-hour bird, 754-5540 for the 36-hour holiday bird at the Germantown and Collierville Commissary. Walker Taylor's done it the right way at both places in Collierville and Germantown. We come back, our Monday Night Football preview, and also our Big Four for the Ravens and for the Rams tonight. A little controversy on who do you pick from with all the kind of the ties both towns have had with the NFL. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats and Drew Barrett on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
The Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Only on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Campbell Clinic now offers daytime walk-in care, and you don't need an appointment. If you've got any kind of urgent break, sprain, strain, you can walk into any of their 5 convenient locations Monday through Friday from 8 until 4. There's no long wait you have to put up with the ER, and those doctors are really good, but they're not orthopedists. They're not world-renowned orthopedists who have come up with different procedures and written the manuals for them that are used everywhere in the world, and I'm not kidding you. And you can now see those doctors who treat the Tigers, the Grizzlies, the Redbirds. You can see them today without an appointment. And I'm talking Collierville, Germantown, South Haven, downtown at the Med Center, or even the Campbell Clinic Spine Center in Cordova. Now, if you've got something pressing, you got to go to work and you can bear the pain until the evening, there's Campbell Clinic After Hours. That's Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 in Germantown, South Haven, even Saturday morning in Germantown. If you're injured, don't wait. Visit Campbell Clinic Walk-In Care or Campbell Clinic After Hours. There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levy Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Listen up, Rebel fans. You can now listen to Rebel Yell Hotline on 87.7 FM or on the web each and every Monday from 6 to 7 p.m. If you can't listen to 87.7 FM, Sports 56 has made it possible to listen online each and every week. All you have to do is go to sports56whbq.com and click on the Rebel Yell Hotline banner to listen. That's Rebel Yell Hotline each and every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. on 87.7 FM or on the web at sports56whbq.com.
Hey folks, I'm Jarrett Carter. My family recently purchased East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station, and we're excited to offer the best selection of Big Green Egg and Traeger grills. And then don't forget about our Benjamin Moore Paint Studio and the Garden Center for fall flowers. Save 60% with our new Duracell key fob replacement program. We have a master locksmith service as well as glass cutting and screen repair. We're located at Quince and White Station behind Three Little Pigs. Look forward to seeing everyone over the holidays.
Join Sports 56 middays this Wednesday from 10 to 3 at Top Gun, formerly Range USA in Bartlett. Top Gun at 2770 Whitten Road wants you to come out to the largest gun range in the Mid-South and shoot for free. While Sports 56 is there, you can stop by for a free range pass that you can use anytime. Chow down on some amazing barbecue and smoked queso from Ferguson's Barbecue. Tons of specials on guns, ammo, and memberships just in time for Black Friday. And we'll have 2 pair of Memphis-Cincinnati tickets up for grabs. This Wednesday, 10 to 3 at Top Gun in Bartlett with Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
Here once again
are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Monday Night Football right here from Westwood 1 tonight, and it should be fun. We'll do our Monday Night Football preview and Big Four coming up. Look at all this college basketball. Good one in Maui right now. 5-0 Virginia Tech leading with about 9 minutes to play over Michigan State and Tom Izzo. Many picking Michigan State and Tom Izzo's team to win in that bracket out in Maui at the Maui Invitational. I'd love to go to that some year, but from what I've been told by people that's been through the years as a fan, they do it a little bit like NCAA tournament, like you buy the afternoon session, they clear everybody out by night, but they clear everybody out per game because it's such limited seating at that little bandbox. If I win, I want to go to every single game that's being played every day.
Yeah, I would too, especially if I'm paying all that money to fly out to Maui. I'd want to see as many basketball games as I could possibly.
I would be going to basketball first and then to see the whatever out there.
I'd probably do it 50-50 because I've never been to Hawaii.
I never have either. Everybody goes to Hawaii says you need a vacation after you go to Hawaii because it's so far. And the jet lag.
Need a vacation from your vacation?
I have. That's first world problem, isn't it?
Oh, huge first world problem.
Huge.
And a problem I've never had.
No, me either. But I do want to go to that tournament sometime. And I love this week with all the basketball. I mean, from the Cayman Islands to Maui, every time zone represented with daytime basketball this week. Monday Night Football tonight. This is as close as must-win as it can be for the Rams, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is, especially with everything that San Francisco is doing on top of it. Then you're starting to slowly fade back. And if you're the Ravens, I mean, this is just another feather in the cap, because I think at this point, with the teams that you have coming up left on your schedule, still have to play the Steelers, Browns one more time. I don't have the schedule in front of me. I think we've got literally after I got I want to say the Jets. But after tonight, I mean, you really only have one tough matchup left. So you win tonight, you can pretty much write the check for the division.
Yeah, and the Ravens, they're approaching maybe team to beat. Maybe go through them.
I mean, I've heard that a lot the last couple of weeks, that the Ravens are the best team. And while as a Ravens fan, I'd like to agree, but what San Francisco's doing has just been phenomenal. I mean, nobody thought I'm bringing it up now before Dave gets here, because he won't hear. He doesn't listen.
If Dave, if he wins the football picks and comes back, he was way back. I mean, stunk September and October. Now this rally, if he comes back and wins that, and Jimmy G's in even a conference championship game, we'll never hear the end of it.
No, we won't.
I may have to take leave.
I wouldn't blame you.
We'll never hear the end of Jimmy G and him rallying back in the football. How do we cheat him out of it? We'll have to.
We will. We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
I'll come up with something.
Well, you can't come up with it because you're in charge of the standards and ethics board.
That's
so,
right. So you'll have to
I'll
come
have
up
to
with
come
it. I'll
up with
administer.
Yeah, you just look the other way.
Yeah, we'll do something. But he's already climbed back to one ahead. And we'll have our picks tomorrow. We got a lot of college games, picking some NFL. Busy day on Thursday. We're carrying Bears and Lions Thursday morning. That starts at 11:30. I like that feel of the game's on Thursday. Even when you're milling about with family or friends, wherever you are, you might not be directly plugged into it, but it's on. It's the NFL games are there, and then into Thursday night for me and the battle for the golden egg. Love that rivalry. And John Thompson was talking about how loud that stadium is. In 2013, that was the Dak Prescott game that he kind of pulled the Willis Reed. He was injured and had lost his mom that fall, and they went to him late, kind of in relief duty, just to see what he had. And that crowd was so loud, and I mean you couldn't hear yourself think between the noise and the cowbells and the energy being brought at Scott Field at Davis Wade Stadium, and you could tell, man, they hate us. And it's that good kind of sports hate. I don't mind it at all. I told you, what it's like at both places, and both give it as good as they get it. And mostly, I like my Egg Bowl just like it is. And that'll be on Thursday night. Pregame starts here at 4:30 and kickoff at 6:30. And Mississippi State wins, they could be in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl.
They could, and I think if you're Steve Earhart, you welcome that 100%. I know the last time that Mississippi State was in the Liberty Bowl, they had a big crowd. I think they played – it was back in the CUSA days. I want to say –
Central Florida.
Yes, it was Central Florida.
I thought they came back since then. I thought Dak came back once since then.
Maybe, but that was the last one I went to that I can remember off the top of my head.
It really launched the good years for Dan Mullen to coming back. Yeah, they came back – and we're in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl against, who was it? Golly, I can't remember who it was, but they could be back with a win, and Ole Miss with a win, head into the offseason with both teams being 5-7. It's the holidays, and everybody at All-Star Chevrolet, I was down there today, they want everybody to know, big thank you to everybody driving All-Star Chevys and each of you wanting to buy a new Chevy. Come drive an All-Star Chevy today or tomorrow or Wednesday. They'll be open again on Friday and Saturday, a Silverado, a Traverse, Camaro. It's ABC simple at All-Star Chevrolet. A, the All-Star Challenge. Bring any written offer from any Mid-South Chevy dealer to All-Star, and they'll give you a better deal or they'll buy you a tank of gas. B, the better buying experience. It's fast and it's fun for you. And C, the customer care. I can attest to that. They'll take care of everything you need so that all your future cars and trucks will be part of the All-Star family. Over 75% of All-Star customers are repeat buyers, and no other Mid-South Chevy dealer can say that. Find new roads to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch, not South Haven, not the Pike, not Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Go to allstarautogroup.com and find the one you want. If you don't see it there, they can get it for you fast. allstarautogroup.com. Get down to Olive Branch to All-Star Chevrolet. Drew, I got about 21 minutes of voice left, so you start with the big four for the Ravens.
All right, I'll start with the big four, and I'm going to start with the top three because I think it was the easiest top three that I've done thus far, being a Ravens fan and due to the fact that they've only been around since '96, that I pretty much can remember every single player that's played in the franchise. And it's my team. So, number one, I think it's easy. I think it's yours as well. Ray Lewis, obviously the heart and soul of Baltimore since its beginning all the way through the Super Bowl, through his second Super Bowl win in 2013.
I don't need a big debate about off the field. On the field, it speaks for itself.
It's Ray Lewis. Number two, Ed Reed, the best ball hawk I've ever seen play safety in my lifetime. Numbers speak for himself, Hall of Famer. Number three, I have Jamal Lewis at number three. All-time leading rusher in Ravens history, all-time leading carrier in Ravens history. I mean, every rushing stat that there is in the National Football League, Jamal Lewis has. And number four, I told you that the four spot was going to be so hard for me because there's a good 15 people that I would love to put in there.
Suggs.
Terrell Suggs, Justin
McAllister.
Tucker. I think you could really make an argument for Joe Flacco.
Matt Stover.
Yes, could make an argument for Matt Stover, Todd Heap, Haloti Nah. Like, there's so many different players, but I have to go with the first Raven ever drafted in 1996. Jonathan Ogden.
Easy.
Made the Pro Bowl every year other than his rookie year. First Hall of Famer to be inducted as a Baltimore Raven. It's too hard to keep him out. And a guy who was Baltimore.
And a really nice man at the Super Bowl in San Francisco. I guess that would have been Super Bowl February of 2016. That was with his Hall of Fame class and announcement, and just a really nice, huge man, but a really nice man. He was that good on field. I'm right with you. My one's Ray Lewis, two Ed Reed. I had Jonathan Ogden 3 and Jamal Lewis 4. For the Rams.
For the Rams, I went only L.A. because I think that's what we're going to do. It was hard for me to leave out all the greats from St. Louis, including Kurt Warner. So
Orlando Pace.
Yep. Another one that we didn't mention earlier. So number one, I have Deacon Jones. 2, Merlin Olsen. I put Isaac Bruce in there because he technically did play a season in L.A., so it does count. And number 4, Eric Dickerson. He only played 4 years for the Rams, but
is that
they
all?
They were 4 great years.
Boy, they were colossal years. He only played 4 years as
4
Ram
years
before he got traded to the Colts. That was a big in-season trade when the NFL just didn't make in-season trades, but he burst on the scene out of SMU to the Rams. I have Eric Dickerson 1. I didn't realize it was just 4 years there. 2nd, Jackie Slater. 3rd, you had him, Merlin Olsen. I left out Rosie Greer. I left out Deacon Jones, but I included Jack Youngblood, if for no other reason, how nice and accessible he's been to me and to this radio station for anybody that's ever been to a Super Bowl. When Super Bowl week, hey, you got 15 minutes for it. Jack Youngblood in that Hall of Fame jacket always has time for us, and he was that good. Who would be the number one just Los Angeles Ram quarterback? Would it be Roman Gabriel? Would it be Bob Waterfield? Would it be did Norm Van Brocklin play some in Los Angeles? I think he did. It wouldn't be Pat Hayden. It wouldn't be Jeff Kemp. Wouldn't be Vince Ferragamo. But it might be Goff someday.
I was about to say, I think right now you can make an argument that leading them to a Super Bowl, having a decent career thus far, I mean, he makes it back to the Super Bowl one more time, has some MVP talks, plays another 5-6 years in L.A. with the Rams. I think you can make a very good argument that he could be the best L.A. Ram quarterback.
The Rams aren't going to the Super Bowl this year. They may not make the playoffs, and that's a big downer after last year. But that Super Bowl, they haven't been the same since then, and that started the malaise of the Patriots' offense. That started that day, just 13 points. The Rams had scratched. They could have won that game that day. Patriots mostly in control, but the Patriot offense, they have to be worried. I don't see any really edge, speed, and the offensive line, not a bulldozer to just line up and run over. And that really has not been their MO through the Belichick years. Now, that defense is that good, but even the loss of Gotti, they've got a lot of questions for them. And just about everybody outside of that footprint, they want a playoffs and a Super Bowl free of the Patriots.
Yes, you don't want to have to come across Bill Belichick in the playoffs and Tom Brady, because even though he is in his 40s, it's still Tom Brady. He has 6 rings for a reason, and it just makes everything a little bit calmer and a little easier on you if you don't have to go through the Patriots. I mean, even you think about how great of a team the Chiefs were last year, and Patrick Mahomes obviously with the MVP season, thinking that they've pretty much got it locked up, that they're going to be the AFC representative in the Super Bowl, and Tom Brady comes into town and rips it away from you. I mean, you going into the playoffs with the Ravens, I mean, I think I've got a lot of confidence, but if I know Tom Brady and Bill Belichick might be on the other side of the field across from me, it makes me a whole lot more nervous than anybody else.
And he's already exploded nationally, but Lamar Jackson to play tonight at the Coliseum on Monday Night Football in Los Angeles, it'll be a lot of attention on him, and he's answered every question so far this year. I love the Coliseum. I think, just one person's opinion, I think it is the stadium of America with all that it has hosted, Olympics, even a World Series, all the great college football games, all the great NFL games. I mean, if you went back and counted the number of Heisman Trophy winners that came through there in college, that at some time in their career that played there, just the USC winners alone, all those players, even Gary Beeman, when UCLA shared it as a home stadium with USC when he won it in '67. Being out there a few years ago, it was fun to see it. It's a little ramshackle. They're going to spend a lot of money on it for the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. It's going to be one of the primary places. I think opening, closing ceremonies will be there, and some track events. But they got to reinstall the track. They pulled it out, but a great stadium and a great setting tonight for Monday Night Football. And I think the Ravens roll.
I think so, too. I think the Ravens get a big victory here on the road.
That's what we do. We do picks when Dave's not here, and he can't even make a pick.
Therefore, this counts. We'll add this onto our NFL picks. If we win. I'm with you on the Ravens.
We're down to that skullduggery already, aren't we?
Yes, we are. But they played really good on the road, only losing one road game, and that was against Kansas City way early in this year. 6-game win streak. Move it up to 7 because there's nobody that's been able to stop Lamar. And the defense has just played incredible since the last time they lost against the Browns.
And Lamar Jackson, he could win the MVP, and tonight could be a launching spot for that for sure. When we come back, we wrap up this Monday afternoon with Taco Bell Crunch Time. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats and Drew Barrett on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find Real Sports Talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Hey everybody, this is Coach Penny Hardaway. There's a comfort in being home, and to me, comfort food and family makes Memphis the place to be, along with having the best basketball fans in America. I like pulling into Corky's and getting one of their family party packs. How can you go wrong with pork, beans, slaw, sauce, and buns for only $5.99 a person? It is so easy. I can call ahead, order online, or just pop in. Tailgating can't get any easier. Tell them Penny sent you.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. If you need a roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and we will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. We have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for many years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies' new look, the Redbirds, the 901 FC, and the Tigers football and basketball teams, it's going to be a fun year. Thank you to Coach Norvell, Coach Hardaway, and their staffs for your dedication to your student athletes, the University of Memphis, and to fans like me who have waited forever to have both the football and basketball teams ranked at the same time. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. Their newly renovated drive-in repair shop is open to the public. Whether it'll be your everyday driver, farm equipment, fleet vehicle, or heavy-duty truck, their ASE-certified technicians will get you back on the road. The on-site dyno is ready to run all the necessary diagnostic testing. From preventative maintenance to complete overhauls, Mid-South Power can handle it all. Stop in today at 3288 Mill Branch Road or call 901-396-0710 and online at mid-southpower.com.
Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
This is Geraldo. It is crunch time.
You are looking live.
It's crunch time.
In your life have you seen anything like that?
Golly, I don't remember that one.
Take questions again for the student athletes at this time, please.
He's a professional. He's pretty classy for his age.
Crunch time, that's the frustrating part.
Little Penny could make some appearances this year.
Okay, I'm not huge into stats.
Has it always been this way?
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
Is this thing working?
Immediately when the buzzer sounds, he lets out this shriek.
He threw those ears forward. He was in stroke mode.
It's obviously crunch time.
Boop, boop, boop. That's what you're getting. Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day. Drew, I learned today and over the weekend the potential of an AutoZone Liberty Bowl of UT versus UT. If we don't get one or both of them this year, then we're never getting them. And I wish they'd just tell us that, because Nashville's really never going to let Tennessee slip past them, because in a mad year, they'd sell 15 to 20,000 tickets, and they're going to sell a lot more than that. And the same for the Houston or the Texas Bowl with Texas. I just don't know if we ever going to get one. It'd be really difficult to get both. I think if it's Kentucky against Iowa State, it'd be a good AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and it looks like that might be the best prospect right now. But I wish they'd just let us know that we're really not ever getting Texas or Tennessee. What'd you learn?
Learned today that 6 more teams in college football need to get to 6 wins to fill out the 39 bowl games. There are 14 teams right now with 5-6 records going into the last weekend of the regular season. Yep, Ohio, Mississippi State, Kent State, Nebraska, TCU, Mizzou, Army, Louisiana Monroe, Michigan State, North Carolina, Oregon State, Boston College, Troy, and Colorado. And besides Ohio playing at 0-11 Akron, none of them are guaranteed.
No, they're not. In Army, even iffy if they win, because they have Navy.
They could still play Navy. But they're going up against an 8-4 Hawaii team in Hawaii. So I'm going to go ahead and chalk that one up as an L.
Yeah, and you know the Military Bowl that's in Annapolis wants one of those two teams. That'd be something Army in a bowl game, though, at Annapolis. That game is going to campus. The Army-Navy game is going to go to campus like in 2028. Some of these out years, maybe longer than that, but they're on the schedule for it to be Annapolis and West Point in the future. I hope that works out, because it's been great. And in a lot of other places, namely Philadelphia and in New York. Could have done without. Come on, Browns fans. Keep it classy, Cleveland. Taking a swing at a piñata like you had a helmet and like it's Mason Rudolph's head. That's not a good look, is it?
No, it's not classy whatsoever.
Not at all. And the Browns.
And it's not even really funny.
It's not.
I mean, Mason Rudolph could have been seriously injured.
Like killed?
Yeah.
And Browns and Steelers, they play this week. Man, that'd be no holds barred in and around the stadium. You show up in Browns gear in Pittsburgh this weekend, you're gonna get you're gonna think piñata.
You might die.
Yeah, it's gonna be something. And they play this week, second time in 3 weeks they will meet, and the loser almost has no hope of playoffs. What could you have done without?
I could have done without the protests at the Harvard-Yale game over the weekend, in which over 40 protesters were arrested. Students of both schools were protesting climate change and did absolutely nothing for climate change or anything for that matter, unless you count getting arrested and doing something, or me talking about it right now is doing something, because it was nothing but ridiculous, delayed TV so bad at I believe the Memphis USF game kicked off before TV was even available.
Yeah, and I'm all for protest, but there's a right way to do it. First of all,
in a right place.
First of all, you put in an application for a license to do it, and you don't inhibit other people's fun. And that even got down to the TV viewer, like you said.
We were all sitting at Silky's after the game and waiting on it to come on.
You proved nothing other than just a bunch of spoiled brats. You know, I used to have the Harvard-Yale game on my college football-only bucket list. I took it off a long time ago. I don't want to be around most of that bunch. I'm sure most of them don't want to be around me.
I'm sure they wouldn't. We wouldn't get along very well.
And the list of grievances that they got to the protesters about, the all-encompassing climate change, but also it was China, and it was this, and it was the World Bank, and
let's pick one topic here, people. Let's stay on focus. Let's stay focused.
No kidding. What are you keeping a close eye on tonight?
Keeping a close eye on, obviously, Monday Night Football with Ravens and Rams. Preds in Smashville against the Blues.
Smashville reference.
Love it. All the college basketball action tonight. And don't forget the season finale of Bluff City Law.
Oh, where are we? How do we stand on the Bluff City Law?
I haven't heard any news, so hopefully it's not the series finale. Hopefully it's just the season.
Oh, this could be the curtain really dropping, huh?
Could be. And I still haven't made my cameo yet.
Should I watch tonight? Say I did?
Yes.
I think I will. I'm going to keep an eye on Monday Night Football mostly. Approaching must-win for the Rams. They're not going back to the Super Bowl, but in jeopardy of not even making the playoffs. Ravens emerging as primary threat to the Patriots. Lamar Jackson in Tinseltown tonight. The college basketball started this morning at 10 o'clock in the Cayman's Island. Last game tonight, tips at 10:30 in Maui. That's a lot of college basketball, and I'm enjoying it. Auburn and New Mexico tonight in Brooklyn. What a week to be in Brooklyn with all the great college basketball. And it should be a good one for the Razorbacks tonight on the road against the Rambling Wreck from Georgia Tech and Josh Pastner. But really, shouldn't this be the Frank Broyles Bowl between Georgia Tech, his alma mater, and Arkansas, his beloved school that he was coach and athletics director at forever? Utah at Milwaukee tonight, and Grizzlies in Indianapolis against the Pacers. For Dave, for Drew, I'm Brett. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 3 o'clock for another edition of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats and Drew Barrett. Good night, everybody.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Limb Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Limb Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselimbandbrace.com.
Our life to yours. Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
Looking for a great place to deposit your money? Try First Bank. Competitive CD rates, a money market that moves with Wall Street prime and interest-bearing checking account options. Not to mention their friendly bankers who make decisions locally. To find out more, stop by one of First Bank's 3 local branches, 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or visit firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC.
Who wants to go see some lights?
Funny thing about the holidays is, nothing flies by faster.
Hey guys, want to build a snowman? Yay! Ready to open presents? Yay! Excited for New Year's? Woo! Who's ready to go back to school?
Well, actually, the Lexus December to Remember sales event also goes by fast. That's because for a very limited time, you'll find some of our best offers on our most popular models. But don't wait. Offers end January 2nd. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Lexus of Memphis.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
One thing I've learned over the years, no matter what you're buying, the smart thing to do is to buy from someone who sells quality products, delivers great personal service, and knows their business inside and out because they have over 2 decades of experience. When you're talking about insurance, it's more important than ever because you're counting on your agent to come up with a policy that's exactly what you need from a company you can absolutely depend on, be there when you need him, and save money all at the same time. When you deal with William Glass or any of their staff at the Glass Group, you're not only in good hands, you'll find out that you can put the money a lot of insurance companies spend on advertising on the World Series or college football or basketball in your pocket while you enjoy first-rate coverage on your home, auto, and business with things like rate lock on your car. So you're not canceled for a wreck or a speeding ticket. Guaranteed replacement on your home and contents, earthquake coverage, and outstanding rates for business on workman's comp, commercial auto, and any other business need you may have. Worried about mayhem? Call William Glass at the Glass Group, 843-1190. They'll handle it for you. 843-1190. When it comes to your pet, you want nothing but the best in boarding, daycare, and grooming, and we say thank you, Memphis, for voting Barks and Recreation #1 in Best Pet Grooming in this year's Memphis Most competition. We're also #1 in boarding with indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please while they're being cared for by the best staff in Memphis, one that includes overnight staffing to ensure the safety and happiness of your pet 24 hours a day. And we're #1 in daycare with indoor and outdoor play areas, individual and group playtime, 4 walks a day, and small play groups to make sure that your pet gets the individual attention they deserve. Make your reservations now at barksdaycare.com or call us at 901-509-0909. Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove, between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. There are 2 or 3 things in life that you simply can't live without if you live in the Mid-South. One of them is air conditioning. We take it for granted, never think about it, till it stops working, and then when you're miserable, you make the mistake of calling the big-name company, and you pay way more than you should, or you call somebody who shouldn't be working on your lawnmower, much less something as important and complex as your HVAC system. When you need air conditioning or heating help, make the smart call to Dunn Heating and Air Conditioning at 494-9040. Brooke Dunn takes pride in his work. He'll treat you fairly, he knows his business, and he comes with the complete backing of the old Rain Man, and University of Memphis supporters will undoubtedly remember his grandfather, Coach Al Brown. Dunn Heating and Air Conditioning, 494-9040. That's 494-9040. Did you know that paying a traffic ticket is an admission of guilt? It is, and it could result in higher insurance rates and add points to your driving record, which could result in your license being suspended or even revoked. It's amazing how simple things can turn into major problems, and it's why no matter what legal problem you may have, you need to know exactly what your rights and your options are. You need an attorney who is only interested in one thing, fighting for you, and I've got one for you, Chelsea Rainey. You can call her for a free, convenient phone consultation at 901-647-4861. Traffic tickets, driving while impaired, drug charges, misdemeanors, divorce,
If you live in the metro Memphis area and you've been accused of a crime, you need to speak to attorney Chelsea Rainey about your options and your legal rights. Chelsea Rainey is dedicated to advocating and protecting your rights. Your initial consultation is free, and attorney Chelsea Rainey is always on call, always available at 647-4861. That's 647-4861.
You finally found it, the vehicle of your dreams. You know it's got everything you want, you just don't know the price. Until now, shop one price pre-owned vehicles today at AutoNation Ford Wolf Chase. Now, every pre-owned vehicle is clearly marked with our lowest price, guaranteed. That means no negotiations, no pressure, just one low price. And every certified AutoNation pre-owned vehicle is inspected in 125 different places, so there's no worries. Plus, your purchase is protected with a money-back guarantee for 5 days or 250 miles, whichever comes first. And as America's largest automotive retailer, you can shop one price pre-owned vehicles from over 250 stores coast to coast. That's something you can count on. Shop over 20,000 one price pre-owned vehicles at AutoNation.com or visit AutoNation Ford Wolf Chase. Drive pink, drive safe, drive now. AutoNation. Certain terms, conditions, and restrictions may apply. See store for complete details.
Southern Sports Report is being brought to you today in part by Gateway Tire and Service Centers, where there's always one thing you can count on. We go the distance for you. So before you hit the road for a trip across country or just across town, drop by any one of our 12 Memphis area locations. Whether it's tires or auto repair, you can always count on one thing. At Gateway Tire and Service Center, we go the distance for you.
Memphis Sports Radio welcomes you to the following presentation of Southern Sports Report.
The following program contains frank and honest commentary on sports. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Gateway Tire and Center's Southern Sports Report with John Rainey, the Rain Man, and Whitey Mills with Stat Attack Sports in Springdale, Arkansas. You can join the show by dialing 360-8255. Can't get to a phone? Email us at theboys@southernsportsreport.com.
Southern Sports Report is being brought to you today in part by All-Star Sports, celebrating 41 years of excellence in sports handicapping. Van Atkins Jewelers in New Albany and Oxford. Why Van Atkins? Because you know she's worth it. Parks and Recreation, luxury doggy daycare and boarding in the heart of East Memphis. Voted #1 in Memphis Most 3 years in a row. And of course, Gateway Tire and Service Center. At Gateway, we go the distance for you.
Phone lines are open, and first-time callers are welcome, needed, and appreciated. And now, live from the All-Star Sports Studios, here's John Rainey, the Rain Man, and Whitey Mills.
And welcome back to Southern Sports Report. I am your host, John Rainey, the Rain Man. It is the Monday, November 25th edition of the show. Mr. Drew Barrett's on the other side of the glass. He's waiting on your phone calls, 360-8255 or 888-360-8255. That'll get you in here from pretty much anywhere. You can email us, theboys@southernsportsreport.com. Every Monday, that means Mr. Whitey Mills with Stat Attack Sports over in Springdale, Arkansas. Mr. Mills, how are you doing?
I'm doing well today, John. How you doing?
I'm doing very good.
Good. We like that.
I like that every day. Don't get it every day.
That's right. We demand it every day. Come on.
Drew, if you're with us, would you kick Whitey's feet up just a touch for me, please, sir? No, just a little bit low. So, Whitey, how was your weekend? How are you doing on a personal basis? Let's forget the weekend for a second.
Well, I was hoping to get my first treatment date moved up today, and it was not moved up, so I'll hope tomorrow it gets moved up. As the way it stands, it'll be next Tuesday, be my first treatment day, and I'm looking forward to it. I want to get something done, period. But on the weekend, I did make it to church. Didn't make it complete through the service, but did make it to church, and that's always important to me, and I was glad to make it there. So it was good. It was a good weekend, John.
Well, it sounds like a pretty good one overall. Just to me, you're still hanging in. I like your attitude. That's what I like.
Well, it's pretty simple, John. Either I beat it or it beats me. And it just doesn't seem to be realistic that a 4-inch tumor can beat me and my doctors and Jesus and the Holy Spirit and all that. It doesn't make sense to me, so I feel good.
Well, I know if cantankerousness, if that's even a word. I think that's a word. If it's not, I just made it one.
It should be a word if it's not.
It should. That's got to be worth something for you.
Oh, I would think so.
You are.
I would think so, yeah. Well, I've got to stick it to you a little bit today, John. I'm assuming you had that easy Nebraska game out this past weekend, correct?
No, I didn't.
I did.
I know you did. I know you did. In fact, I've caught a little flack about it because I've been the one that's been pushing Nebraska.
Yeah.
And then I don't use them. You've been the one telling me don't use them, so I didn't use them. So then you put them out, and they kill somebody.
Yeah. Well, that was a play of playing against somebody more than it was playing on someone. Because Maryland's just amazing. The last 2 years, they started out very nicely early in the season, and have just gone downhill. And that just makes no sense to me. But as long as they're doing it, I'm going to fade them. All in all, I had my worst week of the year this year. This is the first week that I had more losses than I did wins. It's the first week all year long. And the thing that made it irritating as could be is I was 3-4-1 on my regular plays, and I had my Sarge play on a different scale. But of the 4 losses I had, at some time in the game, 4 of those teams were covering the spread. So I had a lot of people that started out well and didn't finish strong. So 3-4-1 on my regular plays this week.
You can't. There's no way you can beat this. I had Air Force as a 10-star play.
Okay, I can't even. Did Air Force cover?
No,
they didn't. Well, darn.
They were covering with just a couple minutes left in the game.
Well, good for them.
And New Mexico put a redshirt freshman quarterback in the game. And he threw one pass, and he literally, I'm not talking figuratively here, I'm talking he literally lost control of the ball as he was making the throw.
Uh-huh.
And it looked like a pop fly.
You're kidding me.
It just looked like just kind of went up in the air, not very far. 3 Air Force guys ran into each other trying to get to it to intercept it.
Oh, no.
I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. 3 Air Force guys ran into each other trying to intercept it. A New Mexico guy caught it, and I don't know, it was like 55 yards or something for a touchdown.
Oh, jeez.
And we didn't cover. We were laying 23.5, and I think that made them win by only 22.
Jeez, Louise, John, that's obscene. That is obscene. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's a hard enough job for this. It is to have some fairy tale come out and really put it to you. So
I really thought I was watching the Three Stooges play football. It was that bad. But hey, that just kind of sums it. We did. We came back. The rest of the day was good. yesterday was outstanding. We had a big play on the Jets.
Good. Well, that's an easy win. We like those.
So that was kind of like your Nebraska play.
Yeah. Yeah. That one was decided. Gosh, I guess in the first quarter it was decided.
Well, I had really good information on that one. The Oakland's offense has just been annihilated by injuries.
Yeah.
And the defense is not much better. Their defense was already really stretched thin and not playing well against the pass anyway. And
right.
I got some really good information about one of the main players that they were really counting on getting back, and he made the trip but didn't play. LaMarcus Joyner.
Okay.
There were just a couple of reasons that we went with that as a big play, because I've been beating up the Jets all year long.
Yeah, I know you have. Interesting. Week after week after week, I do not take New England. Do not take them. Do not take them. and then they cover. Yesterday I took them, and they didn't cover.
And now that's justice. This is things working out. This is karma. Because I had the Cowboys.
Oh, did you?
I had exactly. So you're beating me up about Nebraska.
Okay, you beat me about.
So I beat you up about New England.
I did have a nice play on San Francisco. That looked to me like free money yesterday, and it turned out to be free money.
Boy, you think Aaron Rodgers you think he's ever going back to California?
I think not. It's a situation that you can't have a team relying that incredibly much on one player beat another quality team. You just can't do it. And you look how little Green Bay has done to get some talent around Rodgers, and they've done nothing. I mean, nothing.
It is crazy, but I was worried. The only thing that had me a little gun-shy on San Francisco last night, besides the fact that we'd had a really nice day and it was time to quit, but they were beat up. They got a lot of injuries too, and it's amazing how some teams can have injuries and the other guys step up, fill the holes, and play well. They don't really lose that much.
Right.
Other teams can have injuries and lose guys, and their second guys come in, and they look like they've never seen a football.
Yeah. Of course, this time of the year in both college and pro, everybody's dinged up. I mean everybody, not just the ones you hear about, but everybody's dinged up to a degree. And so you're going to have to consider injuries for every ball club the balance of the season, because they're going to have them, whether they announce them or not.
Yeah, but you're looking at the 49ers injury report from last night.
Uh-huh.
Quan Alexander, George Kittle. Kittle played, and he's amazing, but he wasn't 100%.
Right.
Matt Breida, Joe Staley was out. D didn't even dress. D Ford, and their kicker, and Robbie Gould.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that, and I'm saying, well, this looks way too easy. You say that looks way too easy. It looked like free money, so we jumped all over it. And I say that looks way too easy. I'm not going to play it.
Oh, well. Great minds usually think alike, but sometimes they think exactly diametrically opposite. So there.
Well, what do you think about tonight? See, I think this looks way too easy.
I've got to play out on Baltimore tonight. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, I did too, but I've got Baltimore out too. But I'm looking at that and saying, you gotta be kidding, man. The Rams have got 5 guys on the offensive line that not only have never been in my kitchen, they've never played football together on an offensive line. But they played the Bears last week with that same group and played pretty well.
I'm not impressed with the Bears this year whatsoever. Trubisky's going to have to prove he's an NFL quarterback for me to have any faith in the Bears whatsoever.
Well, he's been hurt, and I guess there's so much money being paid to these guys, and the toughest place in the universe is an NFL locker room.
Oh, yeah.
There is no excuse. There's
No
no
mercy.
excuse. You can't play because you're hurt? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, can you stand up? Then you can go play.
Then you can go play.